Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Friday edition of Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick had to take a phone call, but he'll be on with us in a second. What do you guys want to talk about today? I mean, we could talk about like stodgy stuff.
What you're cooking on for Memorial Day weekend? What you doing?
We can talk about our weekend plans, where we're going to go, what we're going to grill, who we're going to see, or we could just talk about meme stocks, baby. AMC, GameStop, Beyond Meat. Let's go. All the meme stocks today. Fubo, anything with a short interest, high short interest. Nikola, BlackBerry, Nokia, Workhorse, Ride. I mean, all of them, Overstock, all of them. Let's talk all the high short interest stocks. We have some other things on our radar, like Salesforce and Costco, and I want to get on Apple for a second, and Palantir. Also want to hit on this crazy GOED. You all see that yesterday? It was insane. I think it got as high as $21. I think that was in the pre-market. Yeah, it was. And it's now back down to $1 this morning. They priced an offering overnight. But a lot to get to on our show. A few guests on the docket for today. First up, we'll have Markus Heitkoetter from Rockwell Trading on the show at 8:35. I hope we'll have Jason Raznick on the show at 9. And then at 9:20, I'm going to stay on a little bit longer today. At 9:20, I'm going to have James Seyffart from Bloomberg Intelligence on the show, and that'll take us into the open, and we'll go from there. Joel, why don't you share your charts for us?
Oh, yeah.
And here's Dennis. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for
on
us. I was just saying, we could talk about like your weekend plans. We could talk about what you're going to grill, going out in the lake. Or I guess you can't do that now, but whatever. Or we could talk about GOED and all the craziness in the meme stocks. So
they're actually started reopening Ontario a little bit. We opened golf courses now, and you can go on your boat now. So there's a few things you can do now.
Good.
We're getting there.
Good.
I get vaccinated on, I think, Monday. So Pfizer or Moderna, because we got rid of the AstraZeneca one too now. So Canada kind of followed your lead. So
is it like a eeny, meeny, miny, mo? You get to like just choose like that, or
I don't think I have a choice. I think they kind of just give me what they give me. But I know I don't think the J&J is allowed in Canada, but I don't think it's widely out there yet. Moderna and Pfizer are everywhere. So Pfizer is the most prevalent one, I believe, in Ontario. Okay. So I'm assuming it's going to be the Pfizer, but Moderna, I've had some friends get the Moderna shot here too. So I don't care. I just want to get vaccinated and get back to normal.
All right, let's run down the markets, the S&Ps, and then I got a couple quick service announcements. First of all, SPOO's wild close up 14.5 at 42.1350. Crude up 40 cents at 67.25. We have gold down 5.10 at 18.93.40. Silver in the red by 23 cents at 27.71. Bitcoin, that volatile little puppy, is down $3,140 at 36,007.25. Ethereum going the same direction, down $303 at 24.77. Two quick service announcements. First, this is my 32nd wedding anniversary today. Okay, I just want a round of applause for Lisa for putting up with me.
Congratulations, Lisa.
And I got
up with Joel for that long.
Well, we met 5 years before that, so we met in '84. Real quick, for a gift, I always get what you're supposed to get, like the traditional thing. But for 32, they don't have anything. So what I got her is this personalized poster. And it said, Joel Elconin and Lisa married on this day. And it gives you the president, the TV shows, the price of gas, the movies, who won the Oscars. So I got that hiding. I did get in a fight.
So now that you've told everybody, is she going to know this too before you
No,
give it to her?
She's not watching, Dennis.
She's not watching.
She's not watching. My wife doesn't watch the show either.
She's got to have someone's got to have a real job in this family.
That's the truth.
And I got into it with the customer service person because yes, I did. Because in 1989, Michigan won the Rose Bowl. They won the national championship in basketball, and the Pistons won the NBA championships. And I simply wanted that to be the sports on there. And I actually got in a fight. They canceled my order. I had to call. I had to apologize. And then it got delivered last night while she was here, but I was able to get it off the porch. So that's my anniversary thing. The second thing is a new thing starting on Monday. Tuesday. I've been getting a lot of requests for tickers, DM after the show. I can't do them all. I'm just a slow typer. There's too many. So starting on Tuesday on PreMarketPrep.com, I'm going to do a 9 to 9:30 ticker time. And I am going to rip through everything. I won't have to type. I'm going to go through your stocks, sign up, and I'll get to your stocks. I'll cover the pre-market. Also, people are asking a lot about commodities, and I do chart commodities. So it's just going to be a jam-packed half hour. I'm going to do that. And then at 10:30, I'm going to be working with Rob Friesen. We're going to do 10:30 to 11. That's going to be free. Stock odds. We're going to build up an army of Dennis Dicks out there. Nice. Of traders from Bright Trading.
I don't know if you want more than one Dennis Dick out there.
Yeah, but anyways.
My wife would say she wouldn't want more than one out there.
All right. I've taken up a lot of the time, but that site should be live later today, so you guys check that out. PreMarketPrep.com. Dennis, what did you do on the close yesterday?
I was going to ask that same question. Dennis was getting down dirty in Uber, I think.
I did actually. I did trade Uber on the close. It was an insane close. We had a rebalance. Yeah. So there was a lot of movement on the close, and I just bring up the Uber chart on the closing.
Oh, geez.
So I actually was trading this, and this was wild. It had 9 million to sell, so it was all off in balances on the close. But you can see that close that last 2 minutes. It had 9 million to sell with about a minute and a half or 2 minutes to go, and they just start tanking the stock because this thing's going to gap down huge if there's really 9 million to sell. And it went from 51 down to a low there, 48.72. It then flipped to 3 million to buy. And then they went, the algos grab it because the algos are hitting it down. The algos grab it back up and it goes all the way up. So I ended up getting short the close because because it was the gap up on the close. It would have got me on my gap program. And then I covered it literally about a minute later at 50.30. So I made a quick 40 cents in the after hours. So I'm out of it now. But I mean, just this kind of movement there. Yeah, this is my bread and butter. I see stuff like this. I'm going to try to take advantage of it as much as I can, providing liquidity into these gaps. I bought Procter & Gamble, PG. You can see what it did in the last few minutes. I've already sold it. I sold it after hours for the quick 50-cent flip. So, but it went from 138 where it was trading early in the day and 137, 136 and leaked all day. I had a big sell imbalance, gap down kind of on the close. It ran down more on the close. And then there was other ones like Google. Look at GOOG. Holy cow. Look at the last couple minutes in this one and the last few seconds in this one.
Why do people put these orders
24.30. Well, it's rebalancing, right, Joel? So they're they're trying to get the closing price. So they're just too big. So the liquidity providers, there's just not enough of them. I'll provide liquidity into it, but there's not enough of them, and the stock prices will really move. eBay had a big move. I wrote a bunch of them down for you here. eBay lost $2 in the last 5 minutes, 61.50 to 59.50. Look at that big candle there. These were all just off the rebalance. No individual company news on these, just moving off of the rebalance. I typically fade those moves. KMB went in the opposite direction. It ran up. Here's Kimberly-Clark. His stock moves 50 cents sometimes all day. Moves $1.50 in the last few minutes. I did get short up there. Covered it after hours already for a quick 50 cents. So you can see I'm like, just quickly flipping out of these because I'm like, okay, well, it's probably going to come back in fairly quickly, and they do often after hours. So I was able to get out of all of these trades, and make a little bit of money. So that's what, these are inefficiencies that I talk about on the show, inefficiencies that I try to exploit. So anyways,
I just want to point out that you didn't go for the bait. You didn't, and that's why you do well on these. Like you could have went for the in the Uber, you just kind of like, wow, that's a big, you just waited and then it flipped because that we were watching it. Spencer brought it up, and I'm like, it must, Spencer caught the rebalance, and I go, I wonder if there was a flip on this, and that's some good trade in there, Triple D, just to ride that out, all the volatility. But
I'm not in it at that point in time. I'm just getting in on the close, so
right.
So that's why. And sometimes people will do that. They'll say, okay, well, I think this is going to flip, and take a gutsy call, and you could have. If it wouldn't have flipped though, you'd get run over. So it depends on how much, I had a feeling inclination that it wasn't going to, when it dropped to $2, that it wasn't going to keep dropping. But at the same time, you don't know if that imbalance is for real. Like I've seen stocks on rebalances go down $2 and gap down 4 on the close. So if you're buying that too, you're like, boom. Like I can remember getting filled on, what was it, like 2 years ago, there was some type of rebalance, and I got filled on so many stocks, but it was like UNH. Gap down 15 points on the closing print. So it ran down like 3 or 4 and then gap down like another 10 on the closing print. So if you're buying it when it falls to 3 or 4 saying it's going to bounce back, well, what if that imbalance doesn't change and it really is real and it really does gap down? So in this case, it flipped, but they don't always flip. So I always just kind of provide liquidity. I put the LOC, where I talk about this limit on close order, where I'm filled on the closing print only or the order cancels. And then that limits my risk. Like on the Procter & Gamble, my price was much higher than that. My PG price to buy was probably like 135 and change. But I get filled because the thing ran down into it. So, I mean, at a certain point when they start running down, that's when I'll throw out an LOC order and say, okay, if it's really going to close down here, I'll buy it down here because it's probably going to bounce back at least a little bit. Coke was another one.
What did you put? What was your limit? What was your limit?
I can't remember, Joe. Okay. I used an algorithm too, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm just gathering that it was probably higher than that because I sent it with like a minute to go, but I used an algorithm on some of this pricing. So I probably sent like, I don't know, 100 stocks out there, maybe more. There might have been, and then I was cherry picking some too, like Uber, where I'm like, I can see it because I'm looking at the imbalances. So I'm like literally so I'm using an algorithm, and I'm also manually trading some too. So, and they all worked out. I think I've had 100% winners on every imbalance.
And you don't fall in love with these. These are not like these
flips. Yeah.
But
I would hold it overnight if it wasn't coming back in the way I wanted it to. I'm not going to, sometimes there's follow through and it's going to continue to go. And then you got to be careful on that too. So again, it's all about risk management to a certain extent, understanding that just because that has a sell imbalance and goes down doesn't mean it can't continue to go down further. I mean, stocks can still do anything, but there's a high probability that it's going to bounce back at least a little bit there and give you an out. So
what about today? What about today?
On some of these stocks, I typically fade the move. So if you saw an outside move, and remember, you've got the market trading up, so that's going to have an impact as well. But on a stock like Procter & Gamble or KMB went one way. They're a similar company. KMB went one way, PG went the other. I would expect PG to be up and KMB to be down. You basically have a PG fall of $2 and a KMB rise of $2. That's $4 out for a pair trader there. So I don't think it comes back in all the way. But is it out of the realm of possibilities to think you can make 2 if you put it on? No. So KMB's down 12 cents, PG's up 60. So it's already 70 cents it's come back if you're just looking at the two stocks against each other. But, I mean, could it come another $1 or 2? It could. Typically these things get, some of it back, but they don't always get all of it back. So it depends how much, and and there's still free trading, and there's still could be news, there could be a number of other things, but you're just playing probabilities.
Well, I also was talking about today's the end of the month.
Is it? No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Monday's the end of the month.
You're working Monday?
We're not here.
Oh my goodness, you're right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. It's a holiday. So today is the end of the month. Good call, Joel. So you could see some wild fireworks here again. Actually, I did not realize that. I was thinking it was Monday because the 31st is Monday, but it's a holiday. That's the latest it can be, eh?
Yeah.
For Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I totally forgot about it actually, because remember, Canada had Victoria Day last Monday, so we already had our holiday. So
yeah.
Wait, question, good one here from Clinton Rhodes. I guess this is referring to Uber. It could be referring to anything though. How do you see those moves coming so fast? Do you have a scanner, right? That's what. That's
I do. I can run a scanner, which I run 300 S&P stocks, and that I have multiple scanners that are looking for it.
yeah.
But I also just have on my screen, I have about 150 of the biggest S&P stocks, and it's showing me the imbalances. The imbalances come out at 350,
and
10
again,
minutes before the close.
And then again, this is a data fee that you can pay. Anybody can pay for this. This is
I get a free through Ready Plus.
Right.
That's my broker. You get a free through Interactive Brokers too. You can get this information through Interactive Brokers. Is it on Robinhood? I highly doubt it.
No.
This is where if you're with a discount broker and you're trading for free, you're probably not getting as much information as you might get on a full service brokerage. So IB does though. Interactive Brokers. I'm not sure if Interactive Brokers Lite has it, but I'm on Interactive Brokers Pro. IBKR Pro has that information. I don't use it there. Because I have it in my Ready, and I feel like it's cleaner in my Ready.
Right.
But I mean, this information is provided by the exchanges. The reason they give this information is they're saying, we got a huge seller in Uber, we need some help. They're advertising to professional traders out there, we need liquidity providers. We need somebody to come in willing to buy this stock on the close because we got a massive seller. And I see that, I'm like, okay, I'll provide liquidity because I don't think Uber should be gapping down $2. And obviously it flipped, and then, and sometimes these things just get crowded and oversubscribed to. Like some people say, oh, it's fake. Well, a lot of times it's just not fake. It's just flipped. It gets crowded, and people will put more orders in there. You see so many to buy, and with the algos, and you have other professional traders coming in saying, I'll offset that. And then actually offsets all of a sudden is bigger than what the original order was, and the stock can flip and go the other way. So there's lots of different dynamics, but yes, you can subscribe to this information. Obviously the NYSE feed, and maybe there's also other providers of this information out there too. I know Rosenblatt has a product that
Right,
that they can sell as well. So which I've given if you don't have it through your own broker, but I mean, ask your broker.
Yeah.
And folks, please, I mean, this is great information that Dennis is giving you, but this is a very difficult thing to do. And if you want to start doing it, I would suggest starting very small, or I don't know if you can even paper trade it, but it's, there's opportunity there, but there's also a lot of risk. And you also have to be willing to, take the trade home overnight. So it's a great strategy. It just takes a while to learn it.
Yep. And then Ben K is asking if this question too is the rebalancing a scheduled event, i.e., can you predictably plan for it? The first part of the question, yes, scheduled event. Can you plan for it? No, because it's impossible to know how they're gonna flip like this into the close, right?
Well, I mean, the Russell's the greatest example. I mean,
right.
The biggest day where you see the craziest events is on the 4th Friday in June, where the Russell does its rebalance, and that's the big one. Mm-hmm. And you can say, oh, these are the adds and these are the deletes, and sometimes traders will try to get ahead of it. But I have seen it go the other way on the close, where they're crowded, and the adds all go down, the deletes all go up, and you're like, what the hell happened? Mm-hmm. So to just say, okay, it's got it. Like, I mean, you think about the Tesla. The Tesla worked out textbook, where they had to buy and the stock went up. It doesn't always work that way though. Sometimes they have to buy and the stock, there's just more sellers. People have got so far ahead of it trying to get ahead of the trade that they actually overwhelm and overnumber the original buyer, and then it can actually go the other way. So I've seen the Russell go both ways, where you have the ads go up on the close, which you would logically think they would, but I've also seen the ads go down on the close. So the way I trade it, which I feel like is a safer way, is I fade the moves. If I see a stock gapping down 10% on the closing print, I'll buy it, and hoping to flip it out either after hours or the next morning. I'm not scared to hold overnight. We know I do a lot of overnight trading. But again, if you're only doing one of these stocks, maybe you're going to get in the one that continues to go. As you put more and more on, there's a quantitative edge there, right? So that's why, at Bright Trading, I have access to a lot of capital. So I can throw out 100 orders. Like, how much margin are you using when you're doing that? It's a lot of money. So, I mean, you've got to have, the capital behind you to be able to provide liquidity. Can you cherry pick one or two? Sure you can. But then you have, not the law of large numbers working in your favor. If you have an edge on a strategy that's 52%, just like the casino, and you play the game once, well, there's a 48% chance that you're going to lose. But if you put that edge in again and again and again and again, hundreds and thousands of times, the odds of you losing continues to diminish. It's just the law of large numbers, and that's your edge. So that's why with my edges, I try to employ them more and more and more. And, overall, it should work itself out. So, and that's why I'm fairly consistent.
We would talk about the Russell rebalance next Friday, because that's when they release their first list of like we think these are the stocks we want to add to our indexes, and these are the stocks we want to remove from our indexes. And again, Dennis said that's sort of like the big rebalance every year. It happens in the last Friday of June, but they put the list out the first Friday of June. So we'll talk about that a week from today.
And there's anticipatory traders that already know that list. I mean, all it is ranking, right, by market cap. So they just came and they rank it and they say, okay, well, this company's in, it's going in. This company has fallen significantly, it's going out. So it's not rocket science. So there's people who already basically know that list before that list comes out by figuring it out. This trade, all the major brokerages put out Russell research too. You know, and you see this research coming out as early as January, trying to predict 5 months out, and they'll say, there's this trade where these ads tend to drift up for months ahead of the Russell, and the deletes tend to drift down for months ahead of the rebalance. So and there may be some quantitative edges to that too. I've never traded it that far ahead myself, but I know there's traders and quant traders that do that, and they make money doing that. So I kind of just, I do so many different strategies. I play it the day of, and maybe I used to play it a couple days before too, but the couple days before is more random. I just like the fade trade on the close. But I mean, it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you can be the wrong way, and sometimes things can have follow through. So nothing is 100%. With traders, you just work with.
Hey, good question here, and then we're going to get to some stocks. Someone's asking me, how would you trade Trade Desk today with the 10-for-1 split? And well, first of all, that was a wild stock, had some wild movement, but it did run into the split right after.
Is there a split day for it?
That's what he said. That's what he said. But what I would do is I never would do levels on a $580 stock. It's just not worth it. But I would just take my levels and divide by 10. And that, and stick with, my daily highs, my daily lows, my closes, my pivots, and I would trade it that way if it started to pull back. I mean, Dennis, you probably could talk more about it. Did run into the split, so it did have a nice move. I would technically, how does this look on the
600 looks big, technically.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, that fills the gap. Yeah, so if it runs up, I'd say you got a gap fill at 591, or what would that be? 59.69. So
it typically is the trade, and this works well for ex-dividend stocks as well.
Yeah.
You typically see a lot of traders actually hold it long into the split, get the extra shares, and then try to get out of it the next day, not losing as much. And typically, they don't open down as much as they should. Sometimes they open up 1 or 2%. You're not grabbing a pile, but sometimes, you'll see the stock trading up 1 or 2% after a split. And then it usually rolls over after the open, and the stocks usually go red. That's the quantitative numbers. Again, we work in law of averages, not absolutes, so it doesn't work every single time. But more often than not, that's kind of what I see happen. So I'm of the opinion that there is money to be made sometimes holding these things through the split and then trying to flip out of them the next morning as well as you can. I always market hedge. I hedge myself as well because I'm trying to extract the alpha from the stock not opening down as much as it should. So if I was doing TTD, it's probably got a beta of 2. I'd probably short some Qs against it. That's how I would trade it. But, that doesn't always work. And again, I haven't even, looked to see if this is split day, so I don't have that confirmation. I'll look, and then I'll know on the close. And you always know by the imbalances, too. It'll be crazy imbalance on the close. But again, it's going to be an interesting close. It's the end of the month as well.
Yeah, I would just say
somebody said it's June 16th, so I don't.
Oh, we're early on that.
Okay. Yeah,
it's June. The record date is the 9th. The actual split date is June.
Oh, so it's still running.
Yeah. So it's still running. So that's why it wasn't on my list. Somebody just said that. So so I don't have it on my list. So now we know. It sounds like it's June 16th.
Technically, it's the 17th.
June 17th.
It's effective as of the 16th close.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Split date is the 16th, is what NOLA Trader is saying.
Yes.
So there's some other smart traders track this kind of stuff. So you sometimes do see these things run up into the split. You sometimes do see, an opportunity to take it into the split and then trying to get it out after. And I remember, if your broker sucks, which some of them do, they don't even have your new shares delivered. So you're like, oh, I'm trying to sell this after, pre-market, and your new shares aren't even there yet. So that's a nightmare. So it depends on how good your broker is too, to even try to employ some of those strategies that I was just talking about. I'm comfortable to say that, my broker is pretty solid, Goldman Sachs behind it, that I'm going to have my shares the next morning to be able to sell. So if your shares are slow getting there, sometimes it takes a day or two for some of these discount brokers. You might not even be able to sell it for a couple of days, which is horrible because a lot of times you see these things really get hammered a couple days, the day after the split, and then continue to go down for a few days after that. Same thing with ex-dividend stocks.
What about that stock that did it do a split or a reverse split or something in the pre-market? Remember that a couple weeks ago? And people thought they were rich. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. I can't
that
remember the stock though.
Hey, what's going on? We're just kind of leaking here.
We moved down 3 points. What's going on here?
No, the day's already over. Look at that. That is the close. I mean, they didn't even give you a chance. That last few minutes. I mean, I know you saw the other stuff, but the S&Ps were wild too.
Yeah,
man, oh man.
The SPY gap down $1.
Oh, we got
because there's so many stocks. I mean, the stocks are going down. There's stocks like Google going down. So the index is going to chase that.
We do have a data point, PCE.
Yeah, go wide, Dennis. We don't need you getting picked off here.
People are expected to spend more money on stuff. That's
it's pretty evident. Yeah, but there's we'll check our transitory inflation data at 8:30. We'll see what we get. Should we actually cover a stock with news before that?
Right. Yeah, like we haven't even gotten to anything yet, but that's okay. Let's talk about the crazy one from yesterday real fast, and then we'll bring Markus on after the number, sure. if the number matters. But GOED, which is a direct to consumer retailer, 1847 Goedeker is the company. This is a stock with a 3 million share float, and Joel's going to bring the chart up there. And it opened. Well, it hit $21 in the
$21.22
pre-market.
Yeah, and then the pre-market.
Why? Do we know why?
No, we have absolutely no idea why. It was halted how many times? 1, 2, I think just twice. That was after the open, obviously. And they had an offering out this morning. They priced a 91 million unit offering at $2.25. So this thing went from yesterday, went from $5 to 21, and then it closed back at 5, and now they're pricing an offering at 2.
And it's at $1.81 this morning. I've never seen a stock do that in one day. It went from 4 to 21 in the pre-market to close at 6, and then down below $2 after they did an offering, all in the same day. Now it's second day. It's trading $1.81. The 225 offerings on the table. I have no idea. There's a lot of people coming in saying, "Oh yeah, how low can it go?" I mean, the things can go to 0, so you can always go lower. I don't know how do you trade something like this. This is insane.
Yeah, Amex
crazy moves. It's just a poster child for how crazy this market is right now. Obviously, somebody screwed up major. Maybe they thought it was something was going on. I don't follow this company whatsoever, so I can't comment fundamentally why it was doing that yesterday morning. Maybe somebody screwed something up, but that's a crazy move.
It's a micro cap. I mentioned the float's 3 million shares, so it can do whatever the hell it wants to do.
Yeah.
And so that was a crazy stock of the day yesterday.
Wow.
2 minutes until the number.
What about AMC? We haven't talked about it. The Reddit stocks. I mean, we can get into this. We'll get into it through the number. When a stock, and a Reuters reporter just called me wanting commentary on AMC as well. When a stock is this disconnected from its fundamental story, a price can go anywhere. And this is trading. Technically, this is trading on momentum. This is trading on, the buzz. This is trading on social media. This is GME, AMC, KOS, KOSS. We've given a number. Even Rocket started getting some love yesterday. Full disclosure, I do have my Rocket position still. This is it's impossible to predict where the next move is coming from. I mean, I would say you do have resistance up there at 30. It's a big psychological level. It was trading through there in the pre-market, but we're back down below it. Yesterday's high, 29.76. So all you can do is look at this technically. You can't analyze it fundamentally. We see, Rich Greenfield, which we can talk about in a minute.
Are you ready, Dennis? Because it's about 8.
So we're going to move here.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the S&P here. Let's go to the dreaded 1 minute chart.
I don't see anything happening.
No.
Not yet. We went about 10 cents. We're about 10 cents wide on SPY, but I think we can just continue to talk because this looks like a
go ahead.
burger.
Go ahead.
This looks like a nothing burger. So anyways, unless, we see some action here picking up, then obviously we'll go back to the SPY. But, AMC is just crazy right now. It's crazy volatility. Just be careful. You're sticking this in your long-term portfolio. I do believe you'll lose money in the long run. But short-term, you can trade anything. I know my buddy Mike had a great long trade on it yesterday. I mean, it was breaking out through 20. It was a technical trade.
It broke out.
So when it broke out through 20, you're like, okay, this thing can start going. And, I think there's algos that are ripping on that too. Stocks start breaking out to new highs. There's momentum algos that'll come in there and get involved too. And you think it's all just retail. There is hedge funds trading this. There are professional traders trading this. There are algorithms trading this. When this thing trades whatever it did, 800 million or whatever the hell it did yesterday, everybody is trading this. I even traded it yesterday a couple of times. So I mean, just it's insane. So big money made, big money lost very quickly in the stock. High risk.
Personal spending was in line with the estimate of 0.5%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I want to know if Markus traded AMC here yesterday.
I don't think that's a Markus.
Is Markus ready? Is he here?
Markus is here.
Okay, let's bring Markus on early.
Markus, how we doing? Did you trade AMC yesterday?
Hey, good morning. No, but I traded SPC a couple of days ago, so I caught that move.
Okay.
Space?
Yeah, Virgin Galactic.
Nice. That's been moving too. I mean, all these old Reddit names are all starting to catch a bid big time here. SPC just ran from 20 to 30 in 4 days. So
we've been thinking about you, Markus.
Right?
Well, we talked last Friday. You gave me a little bit of your analysis, and you were spot on, right?
Yep. I was hoping you hung tough through that report, because that was pretty ugly. But I just kind of had a feeling you probably sold a few more puts down there, and you brought your cost basis down to 13.25.
I was planning to. I didn't get the puts because I didn't get assigned. I was selling puts at 8, so I wanted to get assigned at 8. I didn't want to go assigned at 9, and then it would drop further down, right? So my goal was to get assigned at 8. Maybe even at 7, and never retraced to this point. But yeah, you called it.
But you got to keep that premium.
Huh?
You got to keep that premium if you were selling those puts.
Yep, keeping the premium. I mean,
where's your cost basis on this thing now? You brought it down a little bit with the put sale.
The cost basis is at $15.79, and my break even is at around $14 right now.
Okay, okay. All right. What else are you looking at here? We had a wild close yesterday. We have end of the month. Do you see any end of the month tendencies here in your trading? I mean,
you see, this week, if you're looking at the S&P 500, it was a pretty boring, uneventful week for me, right? Because in order to sell puts, if you want to sell premium, you need down days. And the whole week, we were basically just drifting higher. I mean, we had a day where we were scratch day, right? So not really going on. So for selling puts, it was kind of boring. So therefore, I took a few more directional trades based on my directional trading strategy, where I use these 3 indicators here, the RSI, the stochastics, and the MACD. And what I want to see is that the RSI is above 50. I want to see that the stochastics is above 50, and the MACD is above its moving average. And so a few trades, directional trades that I'm in right now. So different from selling premium here, really I'm trying to catch a move, is ARWR. So see, there's a trade that I got in last week at this day. So this was May 17th. What is it? Yeah, a little bit more than a week ago. Hasn't really taken off just yet. So this Arrowhead Pharmaceutical, and this happens. I mean, there's wrong signals. I mean, Dennis, you just said it. Not every trade is working out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not every trade is a winning trade. However, another one that came up on my radar was Plug. So same here. This is where on this day, I saw all of these 3 indicators lining up: the RSI above 50, the stochastics above 50, the MACD above the moving average. So this is where I entered right here around 27.50. So right now it's trading at 30.91. I mean, it looks so low as a move, but I mean, this is a 10% move in just a matter of days. So that's not bad at all. This is what I'm looking for. And this is where I also went into CELH. Same story here, right? I mean, on this day, all 3 indicators lined up. Got into this one at 57.50. Right now it's trading at 65. So I'm still in these stocks because they're just moving nicely. I mean, here also, this is a a nice 10% move in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I mean, I take 10% moves in 5 days. That's not bad at all. And then, SPCE. SPCE actually, on Monday, after they completed the successful rocket launch, saw a green bar here. So I entered this on Tuesday, I believe. Entered it right here, also at 27.50. Right now up to 31.05. So these are some of the directional trades that I'm in. Yesterday, I entered SPWR, SunPower. So it hasn't really taken off just yet. As you can see, this is where the indicators all lined up nicely. So this was a trade that I entered yesterday, probably right here at around 23.76. Something like this. And this morning, pre-market trading, a little bit up in the last one here. STAA, and this is also working out nicely. Star Surgical. So I had all the indicators line up on this day. So got in at around 132, and this morning we are at 143. So that's maybe an 8% move in 3 days. And this is what I've been up to this week. In terms of selling puts, the only one that I did was ABT, Abbott Laboratories, at 115. Oops, this is what I need to do. So I sold a put here at 115, but there weren't that many opportunities because what I need is volatility. And I mean, with the VIX, look at the VIX, right? The volatility index, the whole week, it's just dropping. And this is when, if you want to sell premium, this is when the VIX is dropping, premiums are cheap, right? So when the VIX is going higher, that's good for an options premium seller. So this is why this week I've been focusing more on trading directional stocks. So.
Yeah, I just wanted to make just a quick comment. Over the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 35-point range in the S&P, and some of those levels weren't even hit in the regular session. So very, very quiet, consolidating near the high of the move. And the other thing I just want to point out is, Markus, has sometimes there's time to sell puts and the premium's not there. Maybe the risk reward's not there. So he goes to, a directional strategy. So that's kind of what you have to do. I mean, the way these markets are, always changing. Now, of course, volatility will eventually come back and you got to be able to switch gears. Yeah. But I thought that was interesting. So,
but Joel, you're absolutely right. I mean, you cannot have just one trading strategy. I think it's super difficult if you just try to follow one trading strategy, because then you're kind of forcing the market to fit your trading strategy. I mean, over the years, I've been trading for a long time. I found the markets do whatever they want to do, and it's easier for me to adjust. I think we talked about it. My kids, they're both active sailors, and they always say, you can't change the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And that's what I did this week. I just adjusted my sails a little bit and shifted strategies, because there was definitely nice 8 to 10% moves in some of the stocks that came up on the radar here.
Markus, do you ever get down dirty in some of the real crazy names like an AMC or a GameStop? Because the premiums are really attractive there. I'm sure there's some crazy premiums to be had, but is the risk just too high? Do you ever get down dirty, those crazy ones?
No, I don't. I really don't, because if it goes parabolic, you know what happens when it goes parabolic. What goes up must come down, right? I mean, it's almost like throwing a ball in the air, and then at some point it comes down again. And when it comes down crashing hard, I mean, this, if you go to GME, that's what we saw with this massive
multiple
run
times.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you have super huge premiums here, and then you have the collapse. You have another run up. You have the collapse. So, I mean, I don't want to be stuck in this stock for a long time. And again, for selling puts, the key thing for me is, do I want to own the stock at that strike price? And if I don't want to own the stock at this strike price, for me, that is a clear no. And honestly, these stocks are too crazy for me. There's one thing, though, that I regret, because I was looking at GME, and with all the cryptocurrency crash going on, right? I mean, think about it. Where do have money retail traders, what they say, the paper hands, right? I mean, where did they have money? In cryptos. So when cryptos are crashing, the money is getting out of there, not of the institutional traders, but of retail traders. And what is it getting into? Right, this is where we are back to the meme stocks. And I can kick myself of not buying a few calls right here, because as you can see, GME has been just trading sideways. So therefore, premium probably has come down over the past few weeks. And now I think, and I might be completely wrong because, again, I'm not so smart. I think that some of the money that got out of cryptos is going back into the meme stocks. What do you think about this theory?
Good point. I mean, that's
I was looking at
that's
that
how
too.
I try to think sometimes too. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the money, like I always say, there's like this, really, speculative bubble of money that moves from the hot asset to the hot asset to the hot asset. And you're right. A lot of money moved into crypto a few weeks ago, and now it's trying to look for the next, thing that's going to go. And, so there's maybe a point there, Marcus.
Yeah. And you see, when I say what goes up must come down, I don't say that it's come all the way down, but often with parabolic moves, you have a retracement. I mean, at some point you have some profit taking, right? And this is what's happening there. That's why you can apply Fibonacci retracement. So obviously it's not going all the way back down, but there's always a little bit of a retracement. And this where, I don't know, not quite sure. Anyhow,
so Marcus, what's on your radar now?
And it seems that overall, Joel, you said it's super slow week in the S&P. It seems that traders are getting ready for Memorial Day. I heard that they are expecting record numbers of traveling, especially in the United States, where we have reopened. I mean, Dennis, I know that in Canada, not quite yet, but here it seems that traders were just busy the whole week making travel plans and thinking about what to throw on the barbecue.
Dennis can reopen his front door now.
I can step outside and get a breath of fresh air. Actually, we reopened golf courses and we can go on our boats now as well. So we went through, so there's 4 steps to Ontario reopening. I think it's Ontario. We just did step 1 last week. So we've got step 1, which is, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of things you can do, but I know boating and golf were the 2 that directly impacted me. So you can go golf and you can go boating now. So I know step 2, step 3, step 4, as cases come down and vaccination rates go up, they're going to try to eventually get us fully open again. But I still can't, most of your stores are still closed. You can't just go into your hardware store and buy, a pair of, or can opener, like I was saying in Walmart, essential stuff only still. But we're trying here in Ontario to get to where you are in the States. Well, we're jealous.
It's different here. And you have seen, retailers have been reporting last week and this week, and retailers have been blowing it out of the water, right, in terms of earnings. I mean, whether you look at Dick's Sporting Goods or this morning, HIBB, they're just up big because their profits were twice as high as everybody expected. So it's just crazy. The reopening stocks are definitely soaring right now.
Wait, Hibbett Sports is a $90 stock?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about.
Did they do a reverse split?
Well, they have earned. No, they didn't. They have earned.
I hope the Reverend's still in this one.
I don't know, but they had earnings out this morning.
Yeah, but they beat it, and yesterday they closed at 87. This morning they're up to 94, so they're up 8%. Because again, like most retailers that have been reporting, they also said, Dick's DKS the other day did the same thing. Said, hey, our profits were twice as high as everybody was expecting. And yes, we issued the guidance for this quarter. It seems that everybody is rushing back into score. Ulta Beauty. Now that we are not wearing masks anymore here in the US, right? You got to put some stuff on your face. So Ulta Beauty also reported earnings, and they are up 4.76% here this morning. So there's a lot on the move.
On the other side of that coin, who's not out this morning is Costco, and they also had an amazing report. They crushed it. Their comps were incredible, and the stock is down.
Yeah, because they issued actually guidance, and they said, you know what, we are expecting higher labor cost because they think it's difficult to get people back to work. And this is where they said, you know what, all with this cost of goods sold and the supply chain issues that we still have because it's a ripple effect. They said, yeah, you know what, for the rest of the year, we are expecting costs to increase, and that's never good. This is why they're down this morning. Based on what
Costco was already known for paying their employees above minimum wage, but I guess I'm wrong. Anyway, very interesting trend there. Markus Heitkoetter is the founder of Rockwell Trading. The link has been up on the screen the whole time. If you want to learn more, go to rockwelltrading.com/Benzinga or just rockwelltrading.com. Markus, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you. Have a great long weekend. And see you next Friday.
All right. Have a good one. Let's do some stocks that were actually on our list that we didn't actually get around to talking about yet, like Costco, like Salesforce, like Dell. Where do you guys have a preference there?
We'll let you lead the way.
Yeah, all of those. They're all good.
Right.
Talk.
Let's go to Salesforce here. This report was excellent. Their EPS $1.21 versus an 88-cent estimate. Sales of 5.96 versus $5.89 billion. They raised their guidance for the fiscal year, or actually for next fiscal year. They raised their EPS and their sales guidance. And they said they are on the path to reach $50 billion in revenue within the next 5 years. And I don't actually know what they said with regards to the Slack deal. I didn't see anything. I imagine they talked about it, but I just didn't see anything. Regardless, the stock is up this morning.
Yeah, it's a nice pop. This was the opportunity a couple of weeks ago. Somebody asked us about it, and I was like, I kind of like it in the low 200s.
Yes.
Now it's 238. So I'm like, okay, well, I wasn't in it. I didn't. I obviously can't buy every stock you like. But well, I guess if you have an unlimited capital, I guess you can. Or I just simply forget about it.
It's part of leverage, Dennis. Use it. God.
Anyways, I wish it would have been in it. I was in Salesforce once. I had it on a swing trade from like the 225 to like the 235 area back. I think it was April maybe. But I did not participate in this last move up. It's a nice move up. The problem is you're coming into resistance area. So that's where you got multiple highs at 238. It's not surprising that that's where it's starting to stall out. Could it go through there? It could. But I mean, this is now a rip, and I don't like buying rips. So I like the company. Would I buy it on dips? Yes. Am I buying it when it's up 5% today? No.
Pre-market high, or let's just call it the after-hours high, that comes in at 239.44. And when I see this, I mean, I see a couple highs here, but it's traded above that. Look at these pesky highs right here at 240. So if I had this in the long portfolio, I see it trading 238. If I'm looking for like a ripper day, it's going to take out 240, go 240, boom, boom, boom. The longer it takes to, get over, take out that after hours high pre-market, I think you see maybe a little bit of profit taking. You did have some selling ahead of the report yesterday and a kind of an update in the market. So all about 240 for me in CRM.
And nice call out there. Who was it? Dave. Dave got it, need it. VEEV also ripped on their report as well.
What else? Stock?
VEEV. Viva.
Okay, I'm looking at Dave, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then so we
same story as CRM. It's right there, and look at where these things stall out at your levels, Joel. Like 284, 285. That's right where it topped out before too. So they're doing the same thing. Support, resistance, and trends. I mean, what level jumps out at you? It's right back up at resistance again. So can it continue from here? Can do anything. But, when they bump up against resistance for the first time, a lot of times it does stall it out. So I think you just got to be aware of that. You're bumping up against resistance here in VE.
Yeah, and what about and what about the people that took, I don't know how much options this traded. People took home the 270s and the 265s or whatever. Yeah. This is a little bit thinner one, but Dennis already nailed this one. 285.
We also had Dell, and they were like, listen, we've probably hit peak PC sales for the moment. I mean,
yeah, you got the VMware spinoff coming. That's why it's popped up a lot too.
Right.
I own Dell, and I love Dell back at 50, at 100. A lot of good news is priced in here.
Boom, boom, boom. Spike over 103. Doesn't look like you're going to see that. 4 lows in the same area. Where's that at? $99. Let's see what happens. Holds 99. Still looking for this to go higher. Below 99 gets kind of choppy down to 95.
Oh my God. I can't believe how far the gap. I guess I can believe how far the gap has run. But
retail.
Yeah. It's all retail. Mark, we talked about it yesterday with Mark, and their earnings 48 cents per share versus a meaningless estimate of a 5-cent loss. Sales 3.9 versus $3.4 billion. They also raised their guidance for the year. Seeing a trend here. Anyway,
this is the reopening story, and are some of these stocks overshot? Maybe, but there's going to be a lot of people going back to stores when they can go. You're going to get this, is it a roaring? How long does this roaring 20s effect last is going to be the biggest question. These were stocks that were in secular decline before COVID started, but they're going to get a bump from the reopening. People want to get out there. They want to go to stores. They're going to want to go to malls. They're going to want to do other things. Look at Build a Bear.
Yeah.
And Chris Camillo has been all over this, BBW. This is just an incredible move. Is it an overshoot? Probably. Is it worth $18? Probably not. when it got to 1650. But I mean, this is the reopening story. So, and Chris is good at identifying, those trends to come. I mean, we're full on in a reopening trade. We've been talking about it. And, these stocks were buys on pullbacks for the simple reason that they're pure reopening plays. I mean, Build-A-Bear in malls. If people are going back to the malls, AMC is a reopening story. I mean, we talk about that the price doesn't make sense, but it's a reopening story. Don't kid yourself. Those movie theaters are probably going to be packed for a while. So there is a little bit of fundamental case. Is it worth $29 a share? I don't believe so. But at the same time, this is a reopening trade, and reopening trades are working right now. So, so I'm still of that opinion that, you're looking at, the cruise lines. Some of them have run now, but, 3-4 days ago when they had pulled back, there was an opportunity on some of the reopening trades. I think we said that a week ago. That's the stocks that we were starting to look at again. That's when I bought Las Vegas Sands. I mean, and it hasn't run as far, and maybe I picked the wrong one, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that go to the casinos. I bought Penn Gaming as a reopening play. Yes, it's got obviously, the sports betting, and it's got a little bit of, correlation with high tech, but it's also a reopening play as well. So, I mean, there are opportunities here in these reopening stocks that are driving price. The gap, is it overshot? It may have. Maybe some of these stocks have overshot, but they're getting driven by the reopening story right now.
Yeah, GPS. We should have listened to Josh Brown when he was on a couple months ago. Talking about this stock. Boy, that spike, that kind of looks like that's kind of safe here. So if you hold it out for 36.80, you may get it. Looking at the charts, what was that spike up here? 37.63. I don't know. There's some stock trade in here. I'll just use 36.50 because after it came down, boom, it stopped at 36.50, had the dip, came back up. So keep an eye on 36.50. Gets through there, got some more upside, but nice move. This was a $32 stock to begin the week.
Here, I will respond to this. AA is asking if this is all day trading advice. So first off, we don't give advice. We just give levels and we give our opinions. But the numbers that Joel are throwing out there are levels to watch for the day, right?
And longer. Like these are just levels that might come into play, for swing. We go out to, Joel goes out to like the 90 days and he's looking, me and Joel both like the 90-day chart. Where is this thing in the last 3 months? Yeah. Where might it stall out? Where is it running into resistance? I always say, look at the chart, support, resistance, and trends. So those levels might come into play today. They might come into play next week. They might come into play next month. I think he's just trying to give you levels where the stock has struggled to get through before, and maybe it'll struggle there again. We're looking for a history to repeat itself to a certain extent.
Yeah, there's something like someone was asking, would you sell your CCL? I think that was a couple days ago. Well, I mean, it's going up, right? And so you could look at, well, you just want to take out the high of the move, right?
It's bumped its head up against 30 so many times that eventually you think, okay, maybe this is the time it's actually going to take it out. So if I wouldn't be playing it short, the first time back up there, you think, okay, I'm going to short it the first time off 30 because I don't think it's going to have the guts. But when it keeps banging, eventually it breaks out. This looks like a breakout candidate to me, CCL. And it is a reopening story, but resistance is resistance until it's broken, Joel. And that 30 is still major resistance. So, breakout, there's no breakout that has happened here yet. It looks like a breakout candidate, but the breakout hasn't officially happened yet. I think it's going to happen, but anything can happen. Maybe resistance holds again and it starts to sell off again. Maybe we get a bad headline overnight that some of the cruise ships are, not going to sail as quickly as we think they're going to. But I think there's a reopening trade happening in the cruise ships, and I would be buying them on pullbacks. That's my own opinion, not advice. That is just opinion.
And also just looking at it perspective, like when I look at it, obviously with the pandemic, what happened to markets, Dennis has given me, me some good advice, like those March lows of last year. Who knows if we'll ever see them again. But to me, the other thing I look at is this stock is not back over its March high, nowhere near over its February high, nowhere near over its January high. So I'm just looking at it. If it could clear this 30, you get a breakout, you get some good momentum. The next monthly high is 33.34. Does that mean it's going to go there in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? No. It's just that on the monthly charts, that's the indication. And the monthly charts also give you a good indication. Big orders. Like if there's an institution that owes 7 million CCL and they want to get out at 30, they're not going to throw 7 million out at 30. They're going to let it trade up to 30.25 one day and then try and sell 1 million. There's a lot of different strategies, and that's why going out on the longer term charts can give you, like when I looked at that Hibbett Sports, man, I mean, you guys almost had to take me off I remember when people talking about that thing going bankrupt. And boy, I didn't look at that in a long time.
Things have turned, Joel.
Yeah.
I mean, 2020 was $7 back at the lows.
That's
the
when the Reverend was talking
$87
about it.
now. I mean, the market is so inflated. There's so many stocks that are inflated. When does this end? I just talked to a Reuters reporter this morning, and they're just saying, are you worried about inflation? Are you worried? Well, I was worried about it a couple of weeks ago, but it seems like the market's not worried about it. So how can I worry about it? I mean, I got to go with the flow. I mean, this is FOMO has come right back into this markets. We talked about starting to see the growth names starting to catch a bid a couple of weeks ago. That has continued. That has continued. Kathy, I said when it was 100, I said I'm going neutral on Kathy at this point in time because, yes, she's still in a lot of overinflated price stocks, but they're oversold, and it feels like money wants to start to come back, and she's just grinding her way higher here again. So, I mean, you've got to be able to change your opinions. People say I flip-flop my opinions a lot. That's why I'm successful as a trader, because I'm willing to change my opinion. And if you're stuck in your opinion and you're going to live with that and the market's moving against you, you've got to be able to change your opinion, one, when you're wrong, or two, identify that catalysts have changed. You can see, movement in the stock price is starting to change, and you've got to be able to change your opinion. I mean, as a trader, as a long-term investor, maybe you get opinionated and you're going to stick with that opinion forever. But as a trader, the best traders are willing to change their opinion very, very quickly. So, and that's why sometimes after the show, I'll be like, I like tech stocks here. I might say on the show. Sometimes I tweet out after. I tweeted out the other day. I'm like, I'm not liking the tape here from this morning. I was wrong with that tweet because it came right back in and bought the dip. But I mean, it's just an opinion. Nobody knows anything. We're just trying to feel flows. And it started to feel like, okay, some money's coming out of tech, but then it came right back in again. So there's a lot of FOMO money out there right now. Marcus makes a good point. Some of this money got burned in crypto, and maybe some of that money is starting to roll into more speculative
I thought about
assets.
that this morning because when I looked at my quotes on my phone, I see Bitcoin, and I'm just like, let's just look at this Bitcoin chart here for a second. It's kind of, been replaced by the meme stocks, but 40,000, I was talking about 42. It's like, maybe I'm moving it down to 40. And, the futures are a little bit different and the cash is a little bit different, but look at that wall forming there. And then you're having these $2,000-$3,000 drops. I don't know. I think you might get a look at that, well, at least this daily low here, let's just call it 34,000.
Crypto still doesn't look that healthy here.
No,
it needs to start getting back. There's a lot of people burned. So we called this one. Somebody tweeted at me Somebody tweets at me yesterday. This just goes to show you, the people out there that just want to try to ruin your day. But it's like, I don't know how you make any money, Dennis. Every time you tell me to sell something, I buy it and I make money.
Yeah, right.
Okay, sure, whatever, buddy. But, I'm going to pat myself on the back because, sometimes you just got to pat yourself on the back. I called that crypto top sell-off, the Musk
right there,
SNL,
Musk.
for a week before. I even started to put the crypto topping event. So, buddy, hey, maybe I called that one right. So anyways, this just goes to show you too, and I never got a chance to talk about this, but Rich Greenfield was on CNBC this morning. And, we know Rich Greenfield's put the 1 cent price target on AMC, and everybody gives him heat. And there's multiple people even tweeting at me saying he deserves the heat. Nobody deserves to get a personal attack. You're giving an opinion on a stock. When you take it personally, and this happened to me on Reddit. Remember, I said I was not afraid to short some stocks. And my name went on Reddit, and I had 3,000 comments about me on Reddit. There's people most people making fun of my last name. Haha, fun. Okay, sure. That's cool. I don't mind that. You're having good fun. That's okay. The problem is there was some commentary. Let's get this guy. And they're trying to look up the Bright Trading address in Las Vegas. And they're like let's go get this guy. What does that mean? Don't take it to that level. Be better, people. So if you're saying, let's go get Rich Greenfield because he's, AMC, let's go attack him, or let's beat him up, or when you start taking to personal levels like that, or, and start talking, it's very uncomfortable, and it makes people not want to talk publicly about stocks. I've thought about stopping to do this show after that Reddit, when they were threatening, there was some threats on that Reddit, literally threats against me. Let's look up his office and go get him. That's uncomfortable feelings. And, I'm doing this show trying to help educate traders. I'm not getting rich off the show. I love talking stocks. I like to talk about shows. But when you want to take it to a personal level and start to personally threat people because they have a differing opinion than you have a problem. Don't do that, people. Don't start taking it to personal levels. You want to argue with them and say why AMC is worth $100 or $500,000? Cool. Argue. I like hearing the arguments. Maybe you're going to change my opinion. That's fine. But people are entitled to their opinions. And just because he's, putting a logical argument, and he's saying AMC is eventually bankrupt, he's entitled to that opinion. So give him that entitlement. Be better than that. Argue with him. Give your case why AMC is worth $100 a share or $200 a share. That's okay. But don't take it to personal threats. Because you know what? A lot of these people hiding behind anonymous Twitter handles or anonymous Reddit threads. And so you can be a real tough guy when you're hiding anonymously. I'm not hiding anonymously. That's my name out there. I'm out there. So, it just turns people off about talking about stocks at all and talking publicly about companies and giving opinions if people are going to personally attack them. Like the guy yesterday saying, everything you say is wrong all the time, Dennis. I mean, sure, I'm going to get some right. I'm going to get some wrong. You can cherry pick whatever data you want. I feel like I'm right more than I'm wrong. I feel like my P&L shows that, so I'm comfortable to say I'm a pretty good trader because I make my money trading and I've been doing it for 21 years. So, but we're going to be wrong sometimes. I mean, we're just giving opinions.
Dead wrong.
Yeah, wrong.
I think too is what we try and do, and my history in the markets. Working with people like Dennis and doing things. If there's, if we can, do something that might, help you think about. Like I spoke to a trader the other day, and he's, had a great run, and he goes, he had a couple of days last June, and he lost a lot of money, and he goes, he just wants to know what he could have done. He's not asking me to say, where would you put your sell stop here? And we started to talk a little bit about it, and I'm going to talk with him more. And it's just little tricks of the trade that, not necessarily going to make you a ton of money, but, at least learn from your mistakes and learn from our mistakes, right?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to teach traders to be better traders. That's all. And look at, you've got to look at both sides of the opinion. Like people are saying, well, you don't like AMC. Why don't you short it then? Well, I don't short rocket ships. The thing's blasting off. Do I want to get run over here? Just because I don't like a stock doesn't mean I necessarily have to short a stock. I'm not buying it at $30.57, but I don't want to short it. Think it'd be at 50. Who knows where this is in rocket ship mode right now. It could go anywhere. So the Raz is here. Raz is hiding. Look at, he's got a nice background here too. The new bookcase. You get that thing painted. It looks nice.
Well, there was a flood, so he had to do some stuff. I don't know. Raz, good morning. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Good morning. How are you?
Raz, I want to get Raz's thoughts on this because Jason's very good at blocking out the noise and the haters. How do you do that so well?
So well? I don't do it so well. I do it better than Dennis, but not so well. Dennis,
because I'm feisty.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think there's automated bots that a couple people set up just to drive you crazy and look at this guy. Raz looks and sounds pissed, right? And they know that you're going to respond back to the negative hate, and so the guy who does it the best, there's no doubt, the guy who does it the best is Dave Portnoy. He doesn't care. Yeah. He just ignores it. And the truth, what he said is these guys are sitting on Reddit writing comments on me. They're in their house writing comments. They're writing comments. That means their life is writing about me. That's crazy. That is crazy, right? And if you think about it that way, Dennis, it's they're at home writing about you. Why don't they go out and build something? They're out there writing about you. So no matter what they're saying, they're writing about you. It's they're sitting at home in a room writing about you. What does their life come to then? Think about that. They could be. Think about this, Dennis. They could be at home writing a letter to their mom, dad, saying how much they appreciate them.
Why would anybody do that?
To a brother, to someone, but instead they're at home writing about you on Reddit. I mean, think about that, Dennis. Think about what their life has come to. That's where, if you think about it that way, it may change perspective. But to say, yeah.
I mean, I think about Jim Cramer too, Raz. How much hate does Jim Cramer get? He's got to be, and he gets, every once in a while you can see him go off and it gets to him, but he must take so much heat. When you're that big of a public figure, he's got to be at a whole nother level because he's giving hard opinions on stocks all the time. and half people are agreeing with him, half the people are disagreeing with him, and half the people really give him heat. I mean, you got to be thick-skinned at that.
But Dennis, to hear people say like they're gonna find where you work and all that,
that was scary.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Like, no, it's not cool. And you know, and by the way, they're not just sitting at home. Like someone said, they're on mobile devices. Yeah, of course, they're not just sitting at home, but they're on their mobile device writing about Dennis or myself or someone or Jim Cramer. Like, think about that. They're spending their time writing about that. That's like, okay, so I have a kid that goes to camp. I could be writing letters to my kid at camp, or I could be writing about Dennis online. All right. So like, I promise. Exactly. Spencer Israel, I saw what you did there. Exactly. Think like, do you think Bill Gates or Mark Cuban are sitting at home writing about Dennis online? No, they're not. And that's just that.
I think Bill Gates has other things on his mind right now.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I was going to say that you're watching pre-market prep therapy with Benzinga here. Jason, do you want to like talk stocks? Do you want to finish your thought?
No. So AMC. I've had many calls with big Redditors over the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
About AMC. I bought AMC at $6 and then sold some at $9. Then bought it back at $14. And I'm just playing the ride. Okay. And I don't own a ton. I'm just playing the ride, and I have never seen the enthusiasm for AMC. Now, is this AMC enthusiasm going to fall to the mortgage market too? I don't know, but AMC has leases. They don't own their real estate, whereas Markus, another movie theater, owns their real estate, and AMC just has leases. Listen, I know it's a reopening trade, but you know, one thing Dennis mentioned a while ago is, don't fight the trend a little bit. Like, you know, like if the market has changed, then you change with it. And Dennis did that about 6 months ago when the market changed. Now he changed it, you know, when the market changes.
I changed too much. I flip-flop too much.
Yeah. And so there's those challenges of like AMC. Yeah, it's squeezing up and maybe it'll go up a lot higher. And that's it. So what I would say next is, more short squeezes look like they could become in favor. The reopening trade is real. I bought some more stocks this week. Some of my stocks are smaller, so I don't really want to say those. Voyager, which I own a decent amount of, came back this week from 7. They had earnings, went from 17 to 21. That's VYGVF. It's not on the NASDAQ. VYGVF. I am biased. I own a decent amount of that. Upwork, I bought more of that last week.
Weren't you out of that?
Yeah. Upwork, I had so I'll just give the number of shares. I had 2,000 shares at one point. Yeah. I got down all the way to 600. Okay. I bought 200 more last week at like 38.
Starting to get some of your position back.
Yeah, I should have went a little bigger because the story was still intact and it sold off. So I think it was at close to 50, Dennis. Another one that and this is a Chris Camillo. He gave to me Molson TAP.
Yeah, he was on our show talking about that.
Hey, Raz, just on the Upwork, I mean, do you think that this was kind of like more of a stay-at-home trade?
So it was, and I think it's now like a Monster.com type trend where people can moonlight, contract their services out, and as they build new tools, Joel, I think new money will be there. I think there's a lot more people in the marketplace. What shocks me, Joel, like when I look at the crypto market, I'm like, oh, everyone and their brother already has a crypto account. There's no way they're going to grow. Well, then Voyager announces 150,000 accounts open in April, and they already have more in May open. So I'm like, okay, I guess there's a lot more people in this world than I care to realize. And so, so I think it's longer than that, Joel. I think there's a lot of people that don't use these services, and there's a lot more upside. But that's just for me, like thinking that, thinking the world is smaller than it is, but it's actually bigger. Another one that I been buying up, and I talked about in the show a bunch, started buying at 780 is STKS. That's STK Steakhouse. It's at it finally went up to about 1071.
Jason always knows like obscure restaurant stocks.
The one group I've never traded. It's a great ticker symbol. Steak.
Loves obscure restaurants.
Who do they own?
Yeah, by the way, this guy, Joel, to answer your question, this guy right here just wrote, I think Upwork is going to go to the 60s. That part you don't have to go to, but the change in like trying to acquire talent is huge. It's a talent thing. STK Steakhouse. When we go to Vegas for the celebration, Joel,
celebration,
whatever celebration, I don't know.
All
but
right.
when we go, we're going to go to STK Steakhouse, and it's the best. I mean, it's like there's music, there's the best steak. Just sitting here talking about it makes me want to eat a big steak right now. You got to be honest. Sorry. Okay. So that's another one.
That wouldn't be good for your diet. Well, I guess it wouldn't be bad for your diet.
I suck. I suck.
Me too, Jason.
Jason, if you want to lose weight, you should talk to Lisa. She could really help you out.
Okay. If I want to lose weight, all someone has to do is put a trap on my mouth. That's all they have to do. I like, it's not talking to anyone anymore. I realized, like, I was doing keto. I get home, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have one chicken and the biscuit. I'm gonna have 2 of those actually. I'm gonna have 1 Pringle. That's not gonna affect me. So then I get on the scale this morning, and I'm at the same weight as yesterday because I freaking did that. And
wait a minute. You cannot be measuring your weight day over day.
Yes,
it fluctuates with water.
It's not gonna work, man.
I check day over day, every day.
Have you been working out at all?
I have a meter. It's synced to the internet. It does my weight, my water weight, my muscle weight.
Wait, time out. I do want to stop. I just want to say, Raz, I haven't seen you for like a few days. Like I'm like more than a week, I think. But I saw you yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, and you do look trimmer. And I'm not just saying that. I meant to say it, but then I didn't, and then it was going to be awkward, so I didn't say anything. But you do look trimmer.
Are you looking for a raise, Spencer?
No, I'm not BSing. I swear.
Good job, Raz. Have you lost some weight? Have you lost?
I'm not BSing. I didn't see Raz for over a week. Okay,
it's down. I'm down 5 pounds.
That's good.
I got to be down like 40 pounds. Okay.
Are you walking? Are you working out?
I just bought barbells. They got delivered here 2 days ago. They're next to my bed, basically. So last night I did 10 curls and then like this 10 times or 15. And I'm starting out small. I think if I can do those every day, I'll start having some muscle because, and I got next to my bed and my son, Josh, comes in. He's like, Dad, did you do your whatever? And he's like very into it. He's like, is that going to help you lose weight? I'm like, sort of. I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible because, whatever. Yes, I still own. Someone asked a question. I need to. I put the Raz as crazy there. See, someone ripped me, and I just put it on there because whatever.
Did you buy Peloton? You said you were going to do that.
Peloton. I own the stock. What do you mean?
No, I meant a Peloton.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't buy that.
I do it every Friday. That's my Friday workout. No matter what, I do it at least every Friday.
6 and 60. I still believe in 6. You guys want stocks? I believe in SIX. I know it sounds like something else, but I believe in SIX. And I know it's
that's a great reopening play too.
Yes, and I know I'm down on it. I bought it, Dennis. I rebought more this week actually. I bought it originally at 48, and now my buy price down to 46. I'm down 3.47%, 37.74%. I believe 6 and 60. I believe that we're going to see 6 get up to over 50 this in the next month or so, and potentially hit 60. So I own that. And do I own it in size? Yeah, it's a medium position. I own Penn, HAYW. I bought more GAN, as you guys know. FGF, but that's too small. Delta I own was a reopening, but I like Spirit better for that because that's more of the travel vacation. But I'm going on my first business trip next week. I'm going to Florida on.
You're going to the crypto thing, right?
Yes. I mean, I don't know why that's not our event. It seems like the whole world's going.
Yeah, it does seem like the whole world's going. It's
like they keep talking about it, and and so yeah, I'm going to that.
Yeah, that's going to be like a massive. I don't even know whose event it is, but it's like thousands of people are going to this crypto conference next week in Miami.
How about this, Spencer? I can't even get a hotel. Like, I mean, there's so.
Oh, if anyone can find a room in the last second, it is you. I've seen it happen.
Usually, Spencer, this time I think I'm going to be bunking up with like there's a Voyager scene or like try to get in Dave Portnoy's house or something. Because right now those rooms are like few and far between. All the hotels are booked, and I mean, actually I have one solution. I think. That's right. I got to get to Dave Grutman. That's right. I got one solution. So,
don't you know some people down there?
I do, but not like it's like not the top of my head. Like, who do I know? you know, and then do I want to stay with someone in a room? Like, do I want my own place? It doesn't really matter. Oh, Kevin O'Leary lives on Collins Avenue. I'll stay with him. That's easy. Okay. Maybe I'll do that, or he'll have a place. We'll find it. I'll ask him. That's a good call.
Wait, Jason, I know what you need to be doing at 11:15 today. We've got the CEO of Beachbody on SPAX Attack. I can't.
You know that's a huge guest.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling you. I can't promise he has a beach body. I don't know, but maybe he can give you some advice or give us some advice on how to attain that beach body and also talk about the financials and all that jazz. But that's at 11:15. So you should be watching that because you might learn something about fitness. I don't know.
I used to do that. I tried that P90X a couple times. Remember Tony Horton from Beachbody?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was a good workout too. I'd always get to like day 15, and I'd be like day 1, day 2, I'd be like, oh, I can do this, and day 3, and then day 4, and then I get to like day 10 or 12, and then you like slack off one day, and then you just stop. I never could get the 90 days in.
Well, Carl Dikeller, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the founder and CEO of Beachbody. He'll be on again on SPAX Attack this channel at 11:15. So
someone asked if I still own BTN. Yes, I still own BTN.
Okay.
And this is a good one. This guy wrote a good comment here. Any outdoor explains like HIBB has good earnings, Dick's has good earnings, BGVFV, which I used to own, and I sold that way too early. And I sold Eli too early. I bought Eli like at
I had it too.
At 16. It's like at 35, and I just bought an Eli putter.
37.
Okay, so I really messed that one up. Wait, he just took it off. What was the other one? BGFV?
Here, I'll put it back.
No, it was just good symbols to look up.
Yeah, VSTO. Wait, did I tell you guys what happened when I tried to find a left-handed driver about a month ago? I could not find one. There was like massive
shortage on left-handed drivers.
Yeah. Oh my God! All right, I am so angry right now on BGFV. So angry. I know Joel. I know Dennis. I'm just doing hindsight capital. I get it. So BGFV.
You were all over this one at like 10.
You wait till I tell you the number. I got to pull it up because I'm like sick right now seeing this. I had no idea.
You were giving us this last like 6 months ago. At like $10, maybe less than that.
I think $4.
I don't know if it was 4. Maybe it was down at $1.70, so it could have been 4.
Oh, really?
You gave us this early on the show.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis.
Yeah.
There's some stocks I own, like I forget that I own. You want to know what I bought BGFV at?
What'd you end up buying it at?
About 5,000 shares at $2.52.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That was a good buy.
You want to know what I sold it at?
Yes, now I do.
Did you sell the whole lot?
The whole lot.
Oh,
what'd you sell it at?
Wait, hold on. I bought some at 180. Oh, my first buy on it was 189, sir. 189. I bought it at 189, Dennis, and I sold it at 260 and 258.
Oh my God.
High conviction.
It was a good trade though back then. That was a good trade.
I mean,
I do that too. I buy a whole bunch, I sell. I was like, why did I sell? I always sell too early too.
He was probably on with us and we're like talking about the pandemic and the world's coming end, and he's like, sell these guys for the world's ending.
Dennis,
probably our fault.
Dennis, 5,000 shares. I sold it to that would have been 30 points. That would have been whatever.
I bought eBay.
That would have been $150,000. That would have been $150,000, Dennis.
Yeah, been a good one. I bought eBay back during the financial crisis at $11. That was before it spun off PayPal. So I actually held it and I got the PayPal shares and then I ended up selling it all. But I mean, $11 and you got to add the two stocks up now. So you'd get that $11 purchase. Oh, actually, no, this was the story. So I bought it at $11. I wrote the 14 calls because I was doing covered calls against it. I got called away. So I made $3 and I got like $1 premium. It's like, that was a pretty good trade. Here we are a decade later and you got a PayPal spinoff. So $259 plus the eBay price. It's $59. So it'd be $320 now at $11. But I got that dollar premium I got for writing that 14 calls. So there's an argument against writing covered calls, but I called away.
No, Dennis, I've owned eBay for like 15 years. So I have the PayPal.
Oh, you did that? Okay. So you were the smart one that didn't write the calls.
Yeah, because I haven't. In my Ameritrade account, I don't sell anything. In my E-Trade account, I sell like I would if I had BGFB and Ameritrade, if I would have bought it there, I never would have sold it. In that account, I forget I have the stock.
That's what you'll want to do is forget you own these stocks. The good companies, those are the ones that make you money.
BGFV would be Oh my God, I can't even.
All right, it's 9:20. I want to let you guys get ready for the open.
Yeah, I got to go get ready for the open. I say bye to Jason. It's great to talk with you.
Dennis, goodbye. Joel, goodbye.
Okay.
Jason,
see you guys. See you guys at 3:30.
I want to bring on the next guest. Yeah, Jason, go.
Hey guys, if you're listening and you use E-Trade, send a note to E-Trade. Say we love more Benzinga news, or we love Benzinga news, and send an email to powerhour@benzinga.com, and we will send you swag. We will send you swag.
Also, stop emailing me to get swag.
No, email powerhour@benzinga.
I know, but people like email me. They're like, and if you respond, Jason said he'll give us free stuff. Like, why? People, I get emails now that say, Spencer, please respond because Jason and Luke said if you respond, I'll get free stuff. What?
Do you respond back to them?
Yes.
But so yeah, powerhour@benzinga.com. If E-Trade, send an email, say we want more Benzinga news. They want a stock. I gave stocks in the show.
Come on, guys. Come on. Jason gave a half dozen stocks. All right.
Yeah, gave a half stock. Okay. All right, guys.
All right.
I know Spencer has a hot date, so we gotta go. Have a good weekend, all. Maybe we'll do a weekend show. And as they say, as Patrick, what up said, AMC to the moon.
AMC to the moon. That's it. All right. Thanks a lot, Raz. I want to bring on my next guest, and we'll hang out with him into the open here. James Seyffart from Bloomberg Intelligence is a former ETF analyst. He does crypto as well. Does the overall market. James, good morning.
Morning. How are you doing?
Good to see you. You and I are actually from the same neck of the woods down in Central Jersey, so good to talk to. I'm from East Brunswick, so good to talk to someone who's local. I want to just get your overall market thoughts here, and then we'll kind of see where the conversation takes us. But we see, it seems to me we've got two things happening, just in terms of just overall stocks, so we can go to crypto after that. But you got this reopening trade, plus you've got this like short squeeze / gamma squeeze / like meme squeeze, whatever you want to call that, and they're both happening at the same time, and it's driving up like everything. Not everything, obviously.
Everything except for crypto. It's doing the opposite to crypto right now.
Right, exactly. So, like, what are your thoughts? Like, I could see, on the one hand, how you could like feel super empowered by this market, and I can see how on the other hand how you could be like, what? This makes no sense. I know nothing. How do you feel about this market right now?
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, it's just like you said, it's very. It's so segmented. I mean, the whole meme craze, the whole short squeeze. Yeah. It's like the retails. It's more so than I've ever remembered. Granted, I haven't been exactly in the market or watching markets as long as many other people, but it's just so strange to me what's going on. The meme squeeze stuff is absolutely fascinating. Anyone and everyone is paying attention to what's going on with AMC right now and GME. My boss, Eric, tweeted the other day, I mean, AMC was the most traded security in the world yesterday. I mean, to get to that point is kind of absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Tesla right now is the number one traded security almost every day, day in and day out, which again, until a couple of months ago, was always SPY, the ETF. It was you looked at any type of like leaderboard for most traded securities, and SPY is at the top of the list every single time. And now it's Tesla. So all these things going on are just kind of, it's like the retail trading world is bleeding into the institutional world. And the same thing's happening or was happening with crypto. I don't know if we're on a hold now with all the ESG concerns and the crypto mining side of things. But it's just like, I see this whole trend of the retail trading crowd blending into the institutional crowd. And honestly, it makes for more interesting coverage as far as I'm concerned. It's more fun to watch and see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow Helene Meisler on Twitter.
Yes, I do.
Okay, every day, well, not every day, but for the past couple of days, she's been tweeting about AMC's volume as a percentage of the overall New York Stock Exchange volume. And 2 days ago, it was AMC accounted for 11% of overall volume on the NYSE. Yesterday, as of, I guess, 2:30, it was 15% of the overall trading volume. It was one stock, and it was AMC.
Yeah.
Just crazy. The actual numbers are just absolutely insane. Like when you look, there's this one function terminal called most, and you can just go in and see what the most traded securities are by dollar volume and by shares. So I think she was doing it by shares, but by dollar volume, it was still the most traded security in the U.S. All right, and globally, but definitely in the U.S.
All right. Well, let's talk crypto for a second here, because you that's where you spend a lot of your time in those markets. I mean, like, what do you have to say? So our last guest Markus Heitkoetter at 8:40 said he thought people were just rotating away from crypto into this stuff, and I don't know how much I buy that, but like,
when you say this stuff, do you mean like the meme stocks?
Yeah, like away from crypto into like AMC, because like, why else wouldn't crypto be going up? The logic, but I don't know if I buy that. Like, what do you think? Why? Do you have any explanation?
So two things. One, I don't buy that. And the other thing is I do, my primary coverage is ETFs in the asset management industry, but I specialize in, like, specifically, like, I also cover the crypto markets with our commodities analysts at Bloomberg.
Okay.
But I specialize in any crypto funds. So I cover all the global ETFs that invest in crypto securities. And then I'm adamantly following the race for a Bitcoin ETF. And I do a lot of coverage on these grayscale trusts that are just, as far as I'm concerned, they're broken. The SEC really screwed up there. But to answer your question,
we'll get there.
Yeah, to answer your question, I don't think. I think there's a lot of genuine concern there. One thing that I don't see being talked about enough, which I know people will tell me it's FUD and all this other stuff, but I think there's genuine concern that there could be some cramp downs on crypto going forward. Like, I think there should be some concerns. Granted, I think there should be more regulation. I think it's coming to the space. Gary Gensler said he wants to bring it to space. There's plenty of other people talking about bringing regulation. Honestly, tell us the rules so we know what the rules are, and going forward, everyone can follow them. Set the standards so that people can go out and follow. And you talk to anyone in the space, for the most part, that's what they're going to tell you. I mean, granted, there are some people who are like, no regulations, no nothing, blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of concern. I mean, look at what happened with the pipeline on the East Coast of the U.S. The ransom was paid in Bitcoin. What's going on in Ireland with the healthcare system? Ransom is being asked for in Bitcoin. And I think politicians and people are going to be paying more attention, because Bitcoin has gotten so big that this is what I mean, granted, I know it's traceable. I know it's not as anonymous as many people seem to think. Like, you talk to most people and they just think it's completely untraceable, obviously false, but they do want Bitcoin. They want to be paid in crypto. And I think the risk of that security and regulations and what may come down from that, I think, are being slightly understated by a lot of people that are talking about it.
All right. Why is GBTC broken? And does that also apply to the other grayscale products like ETHE, et cetera?
Yeah, so this is like, I got to be careful how long I talk here, because I can talk for like 30 minutes on this topic. But well, I want to say is Grayscale's doing what they can, right? Like, Grayscale is, if it were up to them, they would have launched an ETF, right? Like, this wouldn't even be a situation. We wouldn't be having this conversation, but the SEC won't allow an ETF. They won't allow a redemption program in these products. We can get into the legalities and the regulatory side of that, but it's just not allowed, because the SEC needs to give like a special approval acceptance to allow them to do this. But the problem is the way these products work. So for GBTC and ETHE, they're SEC reporting companies. So essentially, there's this 6-month lockup, and there's other products. There's like a 1-year lockup. So one, you have to be an accredited investor to enter these products. And two, there's the lockup of shares. So it's either 12 months or 6 months. So what's happening is, if you look at an ETF, right, the supply and demand of shares can change intraday. So if there's too much supply, all of a sudden there's going to be market makers out there getting rid of those shares. And basically what happens is the price of that product comes to meet the NAV of that product, or the underlying value of those securities. So every day there's somebody there arbitraging away any sort of mispricing in the underlying asset, or in this case, in the actual ETF or fund. But that doesn't exist with GBTC, ETHE, these other trusts, BitW from Bitwise, OBTC from Osprey. There's no way to do it, right? There's this lockup period. So the shares that are coming online are just prearranged from 6 months ago. So we're getting a flood of new shares right now that should stop in August. And then there's all same thing is going on with ETHE. So what happens is all these shares come to market, and if there's not enough commensurate demand as those shares come to market, then all of a sudden that premium is bound to go down, or in this case, the discount is likened to get worse. And there's just no way to get around this. Now, one way they did is they stopped creations in these products because they've gotten so damn big, essentially. But I mean, at this point, there's not much else they can do. And there's a lot of people complaining about this, saying they need to do something to fix it. But I didn't hear people complaining about it when this thing was trading at 110% premium. When I was tweeting, this thing is broken, we're going to see the same issues going the opposite direction. But people seem to only care because it's trading at a discount now, despite this thing for the vast majority of its history trading at massive premium. So you had, so then this goes back to the other issue where it was basically accredited investors, PE funds, hedge funds, high net worth individuals taking advantage of retail traders who are trying to get access to crypto in their IRAs. So you're buying GBTC at a 25% premium and now it's trading at a 10% discount or whatever it may be. And it's just not efficient for the retail trader. It's not efficient for anyone, except a high net worth individual who got to take advantage of that premium arbitrage.
So what's the end game here? I mean, we don't have any crypto ETFs in the US yet, but Grayscale has said, hey, we're going to convert to an ETF as soon as we're allowed to. But what is the end game for these products?
Yeah, the end game is converting to an ETF. That's what's going to happen to these products, I think, in the eventual future. 6 months ago or 4 months ago, I would have said it's going to happen in 2021. With all the stuff that's happened with the GameStop meme stocks and all that stuff, I think the SEC has other things to worry about. There's plenty of other stuff. I think crypto is kind of crypto ETFs are going to be put a little bit on the back burner. I was also very bullish on a crypto ETF approval because Gensler was coming to office, he taught a blockchain class at MIT. I've watched a lot of it on the internet because you can just go into MIT's website and watch it for free. The guy knows more about blockchain and crypto than most people out there pumping crypto. And so I was kind of bullish on him just getting in and trying to democratize the space, but he's very worried about fraud, which makes sense. There's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of scams going on out there. There's a lot of Ponzi-like crypto coins and all these other stuff out there. And I think he's more concerned with that than getting an ETF out there. So I don't know if we're going to see it in 2021, but eventually when it happens, these products will convert at some point. Now, I think we're going to get a Bitcoin product first, and then maybe we'll get Ethereum, and then maybe we'll start getting some of these other index products or other individual securities. Who knows? But the only way that doesn't happen is if there's a huge cramp down on crypto investing in the U.S., and we'll see if that happens. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's definitely not a 0% chance.
Wait, did I miss this, or was I just mistaken? Is BITQ is that a Bitcoin, quote unquote, Bitcoin ETF?
That's it. That's the Canadian one, right? I think that's a Canadian one.
Tony in chat saying we have one in the US.
Yeah. So that's the crypto. So that's the crypto industry ETF. There's a bunch of them. So there's also Block from another. So the LCN.
Okay. What I meant when I said that, Tony, was like there's no ETF, like just like you have like USO, right? A commodity, like a trust that owns oil in ETF form. There's no equivalent for Bitcoin in the US. They have it in Canada.
Correct. So we have them in Canada. They've been in Europe for many years. I mean, there were Swedish ETNs holding Bitcoin and Ether like in 2016 or 2015. But there's nothing in the US. So these US products that you're talking about, like BitQ, which you're correct, that's Bitwise. It's an equity ETF. There's also one from Block that's been around, Block, BLOK. It's actually outperformed GBTC since Block's inception. It holds GBTC, but it holds a lot of mining companies, Galaxy Digital, things like that, equity securities that have high correlation or involved in the crypto universe or marketplace.
Right. Okay. We're on with James Seyffart from Bloomberg Intelligence. He's an ETF analyst, specializes in alternative assets and crypto and the like. I guess if I can ask you to throw out a date or a number, do you have a ETA on a Bitcoin ETF? You said maybe not as soon as we had originally thought. How many applications are there? Like a half dozen now? I know Van Eck got some.
So the date. Depending on who you talk to, so Dave Nadig.
Don't give me date. Give me like a quarter.
Okay, yeah. I thought Q4 2021. That's what I've been saying since the Van Eck filing came out. So the Van Eck was the most recent published, updated filing of this news. There's basically been seasons of filings or years. So this most recent one, Van Eck filed at the end of 2020. Their date. So then the whole process, you file an S1 or a prospectus, and then you have to file this thing called a 19B4, which is like a filing for a rule change to allow these ETFs to exist. That rule change filing starts a clock, right? So once the SEC acknowledges it and puts it on their public register for comment, so anyone out there can go and comment on these things saying, I never allow this, or you should allow this, or whatever it may be. that starts a clock. That clock for VanEck, which was the first one to file that 19B4, ends on around November 10th. So I was thinking they're going to push off because they can delay like 4 or 5 times. And then all of a sudden at that date, they either have to say yes or no. I thought eventually they were going to approve it once Gensler has been in a seat long enough. But after the comments from Gensler, I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I really do think it's going to happen in 2022 at the latest. And if it doesn't, we might never get it. Honestly, that's the kind of at the point that I'm at. But there's 9 current filings, and that doesn't include Bitwise, who hasn't filed more recently. But they did, as you just mentioned, they launched BitQ, which is the actual equity security crypto tracker. Doesn't include Grayscale, so now we're at 11. And it doesn't include Osprey, which has OBTC. They're launching products. There's talks of them merging with Coinbase or getting acquired by Coinbase. So there's 12 different issuers out there in the public trying to launch an ETF. And I know for a fact there are other issuers that are just kind of sitting in the sidelines that have filed in the past. You have Direction, who's filed for stuff, ProShares, these leverage ETF miners, and other commodity ETF issuers are like, we want to launch a Bitcoin futures product. But the SEC in the past has basically like swatted their hand away. It's like, yeah, we're coming to launch, and then they just swat them away.
Forget Bitcoin ETF. When can I get a leveraged Bitcoin ETF? That's what we need, I think.
I mean, honestly, my thing is everyone keeps saying like the SEC's worried about volatility. Junior gold miners ETFs, 3x inverse and 3x bull, are way more volatile than even a leveraged like Bitcoin ETF would be. So volatility isn't the issue. Okay. I don't know when we're going to see them. I mean, it's almost guaranteed that it's going to happen when they get launched. I think we'll see an inverse one first. There's one inverse one in Switzerland. There's an inverse Bitcoin fund, and there's an inverse Bitcoin fund in Canada. HIBT, I think, is the ticker. So they're out there. I think we'll get 1 times inverse, and then eventually maybe a 2x, 3x. We'll see.
All right, James Seyffart has been on with us. He's from Bloomberg Intelligence. James, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you heard the bell a few minutes ago. That means we are open. Let's bring up my Benzinga Pro, my scanner tool with a chart. So here's AMC. This is a 2-day, 5-minute chart. Each candle is 5 minutes, going back this yesterday now. So AMC is... no surprise, your leader out of the gate here today. As I mentioned to James, my general philosophy with regards to the market we're in right now is that you've got this reopening trade plus this whatever you want to call it, heavily shorted trade, where it seems like stocks that have a high short interest are being pumped up. AMC, obviously your leader, but it's GameStop, it's BlackBerry, it's Fubo. It's Nikola here. You know what? Let's bring up all those charts so we can take a look. So we got AMC. How's GameStop doing this morning? GameStop is lagging AMC. AMC the clear leader here, which is interesting. You got BlackBerry, as I mentioned. Oh, look at that BlackBerry chart. We're almost at 11 here. We're going to be at 11 in a few seconds. What else did I say? I said Nikola. Quiet this morning, but no, I should rephrase. Quiet since the opening bell, but not really quiet the last couple of days. Fubo, God, I wanted to buy this yesterday, and I honestly just got so busy I forgot. That happens to me a lot, where like I want to buy stuff, and I get so busy during the day that because I'm doing things, I like forget. And it gets to be like 3:30, and I'm like, crap, I'm on a stream with Joel. I can't. I'm out of time. So I wanted to buy this yesterday. I forgot to do it. I'm annoyed at myself. Maybe I'll buy it today, but I have to look at the tape a little bit. So Fubo up again. Ride we talked about with Markus. Keeps on going. Who else? Nikola I brought up. What about like Roblox? You guys see Roblox the past couple of days? Let's zoom out. Let's go to a 5-day chart on Roblox. Very nice movement there. What else? Workhorse. You guys see Workhorse? Oh my gosh. His moves are not insane, but just tremendous, right? Oh, look at Overstock. I get some daily research from Wedbush, and they always tell me who they always tell me the most inbound calls they got, like the stocks that they got called about the most yesterday. Not called, but call, instant message, whatever. And yesterday was Overstock. They got a lot of questions about Overstock yesterday. So that's up again here this morning. I'll never forget that Overstock was the best performing stock of 2020 from not for the whole year, but from the bottom in March to like August, right? Let's go to like a 1 year chart. Look at that. Look at that insanity. Let's go to a 2 year chart, actually. Best performing stock in the market from March to August, right there, overstock.com. And hats off. If you held it this long, you got diamond hands on this one, hats off to you, because you experienced a major drawdown. You went from you went from 130 something down to like 50. So hats off to you if you're still in Overstock, because you're back at 91 now. Palantir too. Let's put that one. That's on my list as well. Go to a 2 day chart. Oh my God. So yeah, I saw there was news. Let's scroll down here on the Benzinga Pro. I saw there was news. They got this $111 million contract. I thought it was only a 2 year contract. It does seem like they get these contracts all the freaking time, and yet the stock doesn't really move. Oh, you see it's right up there in the wisely moving. They do seem to be always announcing PRs that they won new contracts. And obviously, you guys know as well as I do that the stock hasn't typically reacted to those. So I think this is just a combo of like out of favor stocks catching bids, right? This is obviously a social media stock, a Reddit stock, but just because it gets love on Reddit doesn't mean it has to go up, right? I mean, let's pull up a no, let's go to my chart tool. Actually, no, let's go back. Let's pull up a year-to-date chart on Palantir, right? Kind of speaks for itself. Interesting that we're at this level here, this $24 level, where we had some resistance about a month ago. But Palantir is moving again. What else you guys looking at? Did I bring up Beyond Meat? I don't even remember. BYND, that's moving. Moving down today now. All right. They had no news, right? No news on Beyond Meat. But let's zoom out and go to like a 1 month chart on Beyond Meat. Oh man, this thing did nothing. This thing did nothing for so long, right? It's just been like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and now all of a sudden in the last month, it's gone up 50%. Crazy, right? PaySafe. We got asked about PaySafe at the top of the show, and I didn't get the chance to bring it up. The former SPAC, right? No, it wasn't. It was an IPO. Don't know what to tell you in this one. I mean, in the sense that, look, I mean, the market that we're in right now, selling has generally been a bad idea, right? I mean, we've been proven time and time again that if you just hold on long enough, you'll probably get a bailout. That's not advice. That's just an observation. It comes down to how much pain can you take. I don't know when you're. Yeah, thank you, Chris. It was this back. How much pain can you take? You're not really, in the grand scheme of things, you're not really down that much, right? I mean, what's the all-time high in PaySafe? Go back. This is only going from the conversion, so you can't see. But I think the all-time high is like what, 20? Probably around 20. So you're down like 50%, which like is bad, obviously, but there are SPACs that are down way more than that. So how much pain can you take? And if you're down and if you're feeling the pain, like let this be a lesson in pain tolerance, right? We all have an uncle point. We all have a point where we're like, I'm done. Can't do it anymore. I'm done. Maybe you're learning that with PaySafe now. Somebody keeps asking about this stock that had a reverse split today. And it's kind of a crappy one. So if you see a stock up like, 1,000%, it's not actually up 1,000%. I don't even remember what the ticker was now, but we got asked about that several times during the show. All right, let me bring on my man, Dyslexic Drew, who is in the office for the first time ever. This is cool. This is exciting now because we got all these people, these team members at Benzinga that have been working for us, that have been remote, that we've never actually met in person. And Drew is one of those guys. I've never actually met Drew in person. Let's bring him on, man. Drew, What's up?
How we doing, Spencer? Finally in the office. First time seeing you today, and it's not in person. What's up with that?
Well, we're in different rooms because we. This is what a problem that we're gonna have now. Is we spent the last 8 months or so just like doing whatever we wanted in the office as far as space. Space was not an issue. We have like cameras set up in the middle of the room with lights and stuff, and nobody was here, so it was fine. But now that we got people coming in, it's going to be a bit of a problem, I think. So we're gonna have to figure that out. But good to see you. How's it going? A long time no talk. Yeah. What have you been watching? You long and strong AMC or what?
Unfortunately, I did not catch the AMC wave. I don't know. Kind of shocked me. Definitely following crypto a lot here with this pullback going on. But I think there's some interesting plays, right? I'm a big Palantir guy. That's up almost 5% today, kind of rallying back from a low at 16. So glad to see that and coming back strong. And then there's some really interesting plays too, like Affirm or Affirm. I never say this.
Affirm?
Affirm. I always say that wrong. Yeah.
It's not even a hard one, man. Yeah. There are so many words that are harder than affirm.
Yeah, definitely. But that's coming down to a low and kind of making a little bit of a nice cup there.
Yeah, I see that.
They IPO'd, right? They were hot. Everyone was looking at them. I know Snow had a really nice day yesterday. First positive earnings there. So some possible value plays. Does value investing even exist anymore? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Spencer?
On a firm?
Yeah.
Well, so it was an IPO, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty recent IPO.
Yeah, all right. So those of all, not all. Here, you know what, Drew? I'm gonna bump you up a little bit. Here, they're saying you're a little quiet. So let's see if that does the trick. They've a lot of these have been beaten down, right? Like punished. Why are you long a firm? Are you long for a trade?
Yeah, I think they have a great business model.
All right, so you're not long for a trade.
I'm not long for a trade, but I think it is starting to set up for a pretty good trade, right? It had some really nice support right in the 70s, and now it's at 65, and it's still kind of holding, even kind of pushing back up. And I think, when you're getting in a trade like this, you definitely focus more on the technicals, and yeah, it's pushing up. It's kind of coming from a low. But their business model is something that, is the future, right? The future of credit.
It's kind of like Rent-A-Center, right? And I'm not saying that as like an insult, but that's kind of the model, right?
I'm not too familiar with Rent-A-Center's business model, but this is, let's say you want to get the new PlayStation 5, you want to get a pair of Yeezys off StockX,
right?
And you don't have $1,000 in your bank account. Maybe you're getting paid $250, you're building up, but you want that thing now, right? If that's a definition of Gen Z or maybe a millennial like yourself, I don't know what isn't. So it lets people buy things now. You don't need a credit card, and you just make payments, and I believe they charge 0 APR, which is nice. So
really?
It's pretty interesting. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty.
All right, so they're not trying to like totally gouge you. Okay.
Yeah. So they have like a business model, like no fees, but they're still making a pretty sizable profit.
How?
Yeah. So I don't know the exact percentages, but I know, like, let's say you buy a pair of Yeezys $1,000, they would only pay like StockX or like Adidas $900, right? So they still capitalize off the $100, and they're getting these companies sales that would not be possible without them.
So they basically convinced retailers like, hey, here's a sale that you wouldn't have gotten if not for us. Give us a cut.
Exactly.
Huh. That's not bad. I dig it. Here, let's go back to overall market here, and then we'll talk about stocks that you and I are watching. I'm watching all these meme stocks, like I said here. Bed Bath & Beyond. Let's look at BBBY today. Oh my God, it's going to 30. It's going to 30. Here's a 5-day chart on Bed Bath. This was silliness because, like, on Tuesday, I got in here and I was like, man, AMC, GameStop are going up, but like the rest of the meme stocks aren't doing diddly squat. And now here they are 3 days later, and they're all playing catch up.
Nokia.
Looking
like a laggard. Up almost 3% today. Not much of a move. If you look at the month, 3 month is up, but some room to run. What do you think, Spencer?
Nokia, a smoother run back to 10, where it almost got in January. I don't know. I do know we have a short interest reporting date coming up in the next week, I believe. So because I don't think we don't have current information on any of these short interest numbers. So I don't do. I have absolutely no idea. It's like, look, everybody is like the way you think about markets is heavily influenced by the people that teach you, right? And so the people that I've learned the most from are Joel and Dennis. And what I've learned from them is these things are impossible to really predict, and you can't. It can be hard to control your risk. So I have no idea what to think on a stock like Nokia, right? Like could it go back to 10? Sure, why not? It did it once. Why not twice? So I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Do you have a thought on Nokia? Do you own this thing?
I do not. It should be interesting to see what the short interest looks like. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye for that. But I mean, support at around $4, call that 20% risk, maybe to the downside. Obviously can push beyond that and break down. But I mean, if this thing goes up to 10, that would look pretty good. So maybe an options play coming. I think that would probably be the best way to play this and, limit your risk to the extent that you can.
And psychotropic Thunder is saying that's when you do a straddle. Yeah, you could. Straddles are like too complicated for me though, so I'm just not going to mess with that. I'm looking at these crypto stocks today, right? Riot is down. Mara is down. Speaking of Mara, we're going to have the CEO of Mara on PreMarket Prep. Well, let me tell you when. That's going to be on the 9th, I think. June 9th. Yes, June 9th. Fred Thiel, the CEO, no relation to Peter Thiel, the CEO of Marathon Digital, MARA, June 9th, 9 a.m. Anyway, the stock is down this morning. What about BT? All right. That's ugly. All these Bitcoin stocks. What about Coinbase? We'll talk about Coinbase for a couple of days. That's not it. That's it. Oh, man. This thing... what do you think of Coinbase, Drew? First of all, do you use Coinbase?
Yeah, I actually do use Coinbase.
Me too.
But exchanges are here to stay, right? And there's a lot of different ways you can transact crypto. You can use something like Pancake Swap, Sushi Swap.
Right.
They're not the only player. They're definitely the biggest. I think, I just signed my mom up for Coinbase. She buys some Ethereum on the dip, so I helped her out there. But Kathy Woods is bullish on it, which is nice to see. But if you looked at kind of how their revenue is put up against, let's say another big exchange, they're definitely pretty low. I think they're maybe less than 50% of a big exchange, stock exchange. But will they ever reach that? It's really hard to say. Bitcoin's market cap might hit $1 trillion, right? The whole stock market cap is I believe it's almost 100 trillion or more. So it's hard to say if they'll ever reach that. I mean, they make money during volatile times, and this has to be one of the most volatile times you've ever seen with Bitcoin. So, are other revenues going to continue to exceed? I don't know. I think if you really want to get into a crypto play like this, you got to wait for Bitcoin to make a nice dip and where people get out, right? This thing was it went up to 400 on IPO day. It's almost at 50% discount. I think this thing could continue to go on discount. What's your thoughts, Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, I use Coinbase, but that is not an endorsement. I used it because it was the first one that I saw in the App Store. And I was like, oh yeah, I know this company. They're not going to screw me over. But I know it's probably not the best exchange in terms of fees, in terms of interest. I know that there are better exchanges out there. It's just the one that I use. But how can you be excited about? Okay, so Coinbase, in a sense, is actually a value stock. If you look at their revenue or their forward earnings. I think that the forward PE on Coinbase is 32. That's what it says there in Benzinga Pro. So that's pretty cheap. So from that point of view, it's not bad. But I mean, how can you be excited about a stock that has basically gone straight down since its direct listing? You know, I mean, I guess it's off the low. It was at 208 2 weeks ago. It's at 241 now. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I trust them too. Like I trust them, which is why I use them. But that's not indicative of whether or not they're the best. They're probably not. They're probably not.
I mean,
you go ahead.
We got $1 billion of revenue, $62 billion, $61 billion enterprise value. Still expensive.
Well, I'm not saying it's cheap, but it's also like not insane. It's not insanely expensive either. I want to talk. We didn't talk Apple today. I want to talk Apple, guys. Check this out. I'm going into my ratings tab in Benzinga Pro. Okay, this is my ratings tool. I have a calendar for analyst ratings. All right, these are ratings that come out from the sell side firms on Wall Street. Okay, we got a downgrade this morning. New Street Research, right? New Street Research downgraded Apple to sell. This almost never happens. Okay, this calendar is sorted by date. I got the most recent ratings up top and the oldest ones at the bottom. Let's watch and see how far back I have to scroll to find the last downgrade to sell in Apple. We got a downgrade to neutral last August. We had initiation to sell in July, but give me a downgrade to sell. Give me a down. There we go. April 17th, right in the midst of COVID craziness, Goldman Sachs went to sell on Apple. Pre-split during COVID. That was the last time we got any analyst firm coming out saying we are going to downgrade our rating on Apple from neutral to sell. It almost never happens. Before that, how far back we got to go before that? January of last year. January of last year in Atlantic Equities. So, look, we know that these firms are almost exclusively, at least the big firms, are almost exclusively bullish Apple. It's been that way for years, as you just saw. But this is like your analyst call of the day, just because it's so rare to see an Apple downgrade to sell. So it is lagging a little bit, not much. I mean, it's up about 20 cents today, and the overall market's up a little bit more than that, not by a whole lot. So very interesting call on Apple here. And while we're on it, let's just go back to the calendar and let's just take a look at ratings for today. So this is today's the 28th, right? Yeah. All right. Let's go to change our date range. We'll go May 28th. We'll just look at today. I always sort by action, so I can see my upgrades up top, my downgrades in the bottom. As far as upgrades, not much today. Not seeing a whole lot. No, none of these interest me. These are smaller names. They don't really interest me. What about downgrades? Scroll down. What about downgrades for today? Auto Home, no, not interest me. There's the Apple one that I mentioned. So it looks like Barclays is out on transports because they're downgrading KSU to underweight. I'm always more interested in upgrades to buy or downgrades to sell / underweight, right? Neutral is whatever. Neutral does not get me excited. Buy gets me excited. Sell gets me excited. Everything else is, I think, kind of noise, right? So if you want to know how to get here, you go to pro.benzinga.com. You go to your calendar widget, and you go to analyst ratings. That's how you get this information. Back to my scanner tool. And actually, while we're on the topic of Benzinga Pro, I just want to remind everyone we do have a special offer going right now. If you go to pro.benzinga.com, enter the promo code 30days. It's up there on the screen, 30DAYS. You will get your first month of Benzinga Pro for $9.97. I think that's on top of a 2-week free trial, which everybody gets automatically. So we're talking 6 weeks of Benzinga Pro for $9.97. You can't really beat that. Honestly, it's kind of a risk-free thing for you, because if you try it and it's not for you, great. You just paid $10. But one trade can one piece of intelligence from Benzinga Pro can more than make up for that. Of course, I recommend it. It's our own service. I'm biased, but honestly, for $10 for 6 weeks, it's pretty damn risk free there. What else? All right, let's catch up on chat. I apologize, chat. I was sort of off on my own thing for a minute there. RKT, yeah, okay. How is RKT? Because this was a meme stock, and then it wasn't, and it's not really. It's not. I mean, it was yesterday. God, what did it get to yesterday? Guys, over 19, but it's not really. It's up what 1.7% today. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this, dude. Well, do you have any thoughts? Because it seems like it's like a pseudo meme stock.
Yeah, it's weird because it's such a like solid fundamental company, right?
Right.
And I think it was a bit shorted and it kind of doubled there for a day. Good exit if you caught it. But this thing hasn't moved too long off its IPO price, right? I think it IPO'd, it was going to do 7 or it was going to do 15. I think they ended up doing 17.5, 17.50 there. And it's, just a buck off that. So personally, I think it's a good hold. It's weird to see that there's some call volume coming in. This thing hasn't moved too much, but it's a solid value play, right? Our interest rates going to continue to stay low for a while. I mean, that's kind of the biggest concern, right? A lot of people refinance. They've already done a lot with their mortgage here. How much more is going to happen for this thing to continue to run up? Are they going to put up some crazy numbers? I don't know. I think that's why it hasn't moved too much. I think there's a lot of, big banks and whatnot that have, they're not really buying these type of stocks right now, just because interest rates are at a record low.
Okay, yeah, you're right about the fundamentals are rock solid, and I think that's a bearish thing, right? Because nobody wants that. Nobody wants solid fundamentals. nobody cares. Everybody wants AMC. Speaking of, where are we at?
Yeah, the problem is they make money, and why would you buy a stock that makes
money?
Why
would I do that, Drew? Why would I want a stock that makes money? That's boring.
Yeah,
give me a stock that's got like crazy projections, like give me Neo, right? Look at Neo here, up 1% this morning, going to 40. I mean, why would I want a stock that actually has real earnings? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. Back to the chat. What are you guys looking at? Damon is asking about Surf. Any opinions on Surf? Besides the fact that I see this mentioned in chat frequently, I don't actually know much about it. So let's go down to a newsfeed. Let's go to a BZ Wire here, newsfeed here. Let's see if we have any headlines. Oh, we got some headlines. So there was some drug news out a couple weeks ago, but we have an initiation. I just scrolled right past this in the calendar there, but BTIG is out with a buy rating on Surf. I'm getting a $17 price target. So let's take a look, because I bet you Surf has very little mainstream sell side coverage. So go into the calendar. Oh, so we don't even have anything, right? So this thing has almost no coverage from the sell side. So one initiation on a stock that has no coverage can do that. So even though it's BTIG, they're notable, but they're not like the most influential firm. And it's only an initiation, and it's one firm that can be enough to juice it. And so it's up 5.5% today on that. Let's zoom out, and if we can see if any levels jump out to us. Not really. Does anything jump out to you here?
I don't see anything too big. I know someone put MindMed in the chat.
Okay.
MNDN or M.
Yeah.
It's a hard one for me.
Yeah.
M and MD. Oh gosh. Yeah. I had to type that in 3 times. No. That is a tough one though. So they IPO, or they didn't IPO, they switched to NASDAQ very recently. They were OTC pink sheet. A classic Wolf of Wall Streeter. No, but now they're on the NASDAQ, right? So legit, they're gonna get some eyes on them.
Dude, look at this. This was like this may be like the most classic sell the news thing I've ever seen in my life, right? Because that first pop, that was the day they announced the uplist, that April 22nd day, right? That was when they announced it, and the top was the day that it happened, April 26th. What a classic sell the news event.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was a good time to sell. I hope no one here was buying there. I remember I was looking at it and I was like, I've always wanted to get a piece of this stock. it's something that, could have astronomical changes in the healthcare industry. But I feel like a really good time to try and play this is a time when cannabis starts to rally, right? Because that's when people might start looking for some alternative plays. They might think about what's coming next. I believe Oregon was the state. I might be wrong here. Correct me if I am wrong. But I think Oregon legalized medical mushrooms and psychedelics.
They did in California is about to.
Yeah, right. So, this is a crazy thought that I'm sure there's a lot of analysts that are saying, that's way too far out. Like, there's no way I could see any of that stuff happening, or maybe it's way too hard to, forecast. But it definitely has some upside potential if you believe in that story.
Yeah, so there were two here, right? There's Compass, CMPS, and there's MindMed, MNMD. Those are the two psychedelics plays that are public right now. Man, that MindMed chart scares the crap out of me, and I'll tell you why. I have been long and strong for the 4 largest U.S. cannabis stocks for a while now: Curaleaf, Cresco, Trulieve, and Green Thumb, and they're all OTC because they can't be on exchange. But whenever cannabis gets legalized federally in the U.S., they'll be able to uplist. And I've been long. One of the reasons I am long these stocks is for that inevitable uplist, because it basically just takes the handcuffs off and allows like all the real money to come in. But if they're gonna do what MindMed did, then like that does not make me feel good. Granted, we only have a month of data on this MindMed uplist, but the pop is great, the drop is not. If my stocks like this makes me want to sell when like it might take a couple of years for us to get the uplist news on cannabis. I would assume it's going to happen in this administration, but you never know. But if they're going to do what MindMed did, then I'm getting out. Like when I'm getting out before the uplist is what I'm saying.
Really?
Well,
like a day before, or like the second they release it, that thing's up 10%. Spencer's pulling shares.
Obviously, I don't know, because we're talking like stuff that hasn't even happened yet, and we have no timeline on it. But like this does not make me feel good. I mean, I feel good about the pop, I guess, but I don't feel good about the drop after the fact. So I don't know. Well, let's just see how MindMed shakes out. Let's see. I'm watching this on the back burner, not to buy it, but more so because it's an indicator for my 4 cannabis stocks that I'm sort of waiting for that uplist for. All right, what else is chat seeing? Chat's dropping more. Also for cannabis, don't we have Canopy Growth earnings next week? I think we do. Yes, we do have earnings confirmed for Tuesday before the market open. So good call, Drew. Let's have cannabis on our radar for today and tomorrow. And yeah, wow, look at that moving Canopy. Very nice. Very nice.
That's the type of drop you want to see, right? Right around drops, recovers, and goes on its way right back up. When you zoom up the chart, it's not exactly what it looks like, but
right. Obviously, a long-term downtrend.
There was a lot of dilution and whatnot in the past, so it is.
All right, I don't want to forget about the chat. Psychotropic trader Thunder is dropping more. I guess cannabis tickers in there. I don't. There's a lot of them. I only own the. Oh no, I was talking about psychedelic plays. I'm sorry. I guess I thought they were. Yeah. Okay. What I meant when I said that there was 2 psychedelic stocks, I meant there were 2 psychedelic stocks that trade on exchanges. There's a number of them that are traded on OTC markets, but MindMed and Compass are the 2 that trade on exchanges. Ebon thoughts. Slicky Ricky. Wonder if he's related to Slick Rick. Thoughts on Ebon. Oh, well, didn't this have like a regulatory thing just happen here? Yeah, they issued a statement on changes in the regulatory landscape in China and the impact on their company. Here is that statement. It's right there in Benzinga Pro. Yeah, I mean, this whole sector has gotten. I mean, here, this was on my. I had Ebon on my watch list, didn't I? My Coinbase watch list, and I think I did. I guess not. I think I took it off. Regardless, it's been crushed, absolutely crushed. Let's go to year to date if we can. Come on, 1 year to date. Oh my gosh, you're down almost 100%.
Wow, almost 100%.
I'm sorry.
Wow, it's not fun.
Wait, Clyde W says, Spencer, answer your phone. Clyde, nobody called me. Clyde doesn't have my number. No,
Spencer's number's leaked in the Benzinga chat. Oh no, his email's gone.
No,
His phone number.
My number is leaked. It's on a stream. I dare you to try to find it. You won't be able to. It's on his stream on PreMarket Prep. Actually, I don't even know if it was PreMarket Prep. It may have been a different show. Jason leaked my number, but I dare you to find it. You won't be able to find it because we have so much content. I dare you to try and go through our shows. It wasn't that long ago even. People start calling me. But Clyde says he has my number. All right. Don't call me Clyde. Let's see here. It is 10:10. Time's flying when you're having fun. Again, as I mentioned, guys, we're going to have the founder and CEO of Beachbody on the stream here in about an hour, actually. 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have Carl Dykeller, and he's the founder and CEO of Beachbody. They are merging or they're being bought by Forest Road Acquisition. Ticker is FRX. Man, see, this is what I'm talking about. Actually, I guess not, because I said there's a lot of SPACs down more than 50%, and this one's down about 50% too. But let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on a 5-day chart. That's crazy. Oh man, this is all. Do we have any like real trading action happening in this thing? No, not really. It's just been hovering right around that $10 mark, right around par. So
SPACs are dead.
What?
SPACs have been dead for a while. The comeback could be insane if these things definitely pick up speed again. A lot of them are near that $10 IPO.
Yeah, and this is what I said a couple weeks ago on SPAC Stack, right? It's like now is the time to have your shopping list, right? Because every SPAC is, not every SPAC, but like 99% of SPACs have gotten just absolutely wrecked. Now is, if you really have like a real thesis and you've done some research and you've done some DD, now is the time to strike. Not 3 months ago or 6 months ago when every SPAC was up. It didn't matter what it was doing or what the company was. Every SPAC was up. That's not when you want to buy. You want to be buying now if you have a real thesis. If you like the company for real, long term. Understand that it may take a while, but now is the time to have your shopping list. So in that sense, SPACs are not dead. And that's why we're bringing these companies to you, because like there's no better way than to hear from the company themselves, the CEO themselves, about, you know, future prospects and why they're doing what they're doing and why SPAC and why now. So I'm excited for that one. I'll be tuning in to that at 11:15. Mitch Hodge is back today. So no Spencer on SPAC Stack. You got Chris and Mitch, the usual crew. But I'm excited for that. And we've got the Power Hour coming up after SPAC Stack, as always, at noon. We've got Get Technical with Neil Hamilton at 1. Options Explained with Robert Roy at 2. We got our Zinger Stock Trivia Show, which, Drew, have you done that yet?
Is that like the around the...
No, it's different. It's different.
Drew,
we'll get you on trivia today, all right?
Awesome.
We'll get you on trivia at 3 o'clock. We got the At the Close show, 3:30 to 4. After that, we got Money Mitch. We haven't done Money Mitch all week because he's been out. Money Mitch will be on from 4 to 5. And then we're going to close out the week with Technically Options in his new time slot, Brad Weber, 5 o'clock to 6. And that'll wrap it up for the week. I do also want to also note that starting, I think, maybe not tonight, but starting on Tuesday, we're going to start doing reruns, right? So if you missed a show, you can always rewatch our shows, right? They're on YouTube. They're also available in podcast form. But if you missed a show, we're going to be re-airing like all of our morning and afternoon programming later on in the evening. So that'll be a thing. So just because we're going to be going longer. Like we want to be going longer. We want to be streaming more. And so we have all this content that just sits there. So we thought, why not just re-air it? So we're going to be doing reruns starting next week, I think, every single day. Also, I've not mentioned this yet today, and that's shame on me for not doing so. But we are in the midst of our 100,000 subscriber giveaway contest. If you hit the subscribe button, that will get us one step closer to actually giving away the giveaway, which is, of course, a free share of Tesla. Anyway, link is in the description of this video. Check it out. Enter the YouTube code SLIMERAZ. This is going to be a big thing. We're going to cross 100,000 subs. We're going to give away a free share of Tesla. We're going to throw some crap on Jason's head, however we even find it, and it'll be a fun thing. It'll be a fun thing. It'll be a beautiful thing. So again, link in description. Contest active right now. You could win a free share of Tesla, and that's all I have to say about that. What I miss while that was playing?
You guys gotta smash the like button.
Yes,
right? If you're already subscribed and you want to help us out, you want to get that Tesla share soon because it's gonna go up. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You're getting it regardless, so maybe better if it goes up. But get it now, right? Maybe if you want to buy some other things. So smash that like button. Share this with your boys or your girls or whoever you want to trade with. And follow me and Spencer on Twitter, and of course at Benzinga. And yeah, stay up to date.
Wait, is your handle really that at dyslexic_invest?
It is. I might have to change it soon, but as of now, hit it up. Hit Spencer up too.
Yeah, you can follow us. You can follow me. I do a poor job of catching up on my mentions, but yeah, you can tweet at me, follow me. I sometimes respond, sometimes not, or DM me. That works too. Okay. Let me catch up here. There's a few things that I want to say. A couple more things, and then I'm going to bring Mitch Hodge on, and Mitch is going to go through what he's watching and then get ready for his stream at 11. I wanted to catch up on where's my Benzinga Pro. I wanted to catch up on the earnings stocks. So Costco, let's catch up here. So it's down. This is let's zoom in. Okay, that's better. There's a 2-day, 5-minute chart, so you can see Costco down from the open, actually down pretty. 2% is significant if you consider the fact that the market is up 0.2%. The market's up today. Every index is up. Costco's down 2%. And let's scroll down and look at the earnings. They were amazing, right? EPS beat, sales beat, comps were up double digits, which is, for a company like Costco is insanity. You have all the firms out this morning raising their price targets because of oh my God, this report was so good. And yet short term, here we are down 2%. So interesting reaction to Costco. A lot of that probably priced in. Again, this is like the least surprising report in the history of reports, right? We all had to know that Costco was going to blow it away. Speaking of Costco, did BJ's report? I don't remember. I think they did, right? God help me out if you remember BJ's. Yeah, they were out last week, and they also crushed it. And then look at that gap. Oh my God! Wait, let's go to a 1 month here. That was earnings. That was BJ's earnings, right there.
Wow.
They dropped and they bounced, and now they're leaking. Will Costco do the same thing? Here's a question. Back to a 5-day. Anyway, still a beast of a company. I love Costco. I don't own the stock. I don't own it individually. I own it via like an index, or an ETF. But I love the stock. I love the company. But short term down 2%. How's Salesforce doing? Because this was one of your big gainers of the market. It is kept on going here today, up almost 7% here at 10:18 a.m. Eastern time. They also crushed it. They raised their guidance, but I don't know what they said about the Slack acquisition. If they gave a timeline, I just didn't see it. I'm sure they did. But wow, what a report for Salesforce! And then in that same vein, Viva Systems up 11.5% on their report. So just crushing it. Software as a service, man. That recurring revenue. Great stuff. Ooh, Lemonade. There's one. Didn't they have a tweet go viral, and not in a good way?
No.
Did you see that the other day? They had a Twitter thread about their AI, and it went viral, but not in the way you want to go viral, and then they deleted it. Here, let me try to pull it up.
Yeah, Lemonade. It was at 175 early 2021, but making a little bit of a comeback here.
Here,
hold on. Insurance.
Yeah, here we go. So, wait, you guys can't see my screen. Never mind. Hold on. Let me bring up my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. All right. This is yesterday, right? 2 days ago. So we deleted this awful thread, which caused more confusion than anything else. Too long, didn't read. TLDR. We're not trying to build AI that uses physical or personal features to deny claims. We never let AI auto decline claims. Our systems do not evaluate claims based on background, gender, appearance, skin tone, disability, or any physical characteristic, nor do we evaluate any of these by proxy. And then they're like, here's our blog post. So I guess they had a thread that they got wrecked on, ratioed really hard, and everyone was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, all right, we should delete this. Anyway, back to the stock chart. How's it doing today? Lemonade, LMND,
6%.
Recent IPO. Where's my damn pro? There it is. Up 6%. Do we have a reason, anyone? Just because it's a hated stock? Sure. Why not? Why not?
I believe it's shorted pretty heavily too. So maybe the Reddit trend is continuing up. I believe was it Bed Bath & Beyond? That was also Beyond Meat was kind of getting pushed up onto Reddit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Beyond Meat's up again today. At least it was last I checked. What is it up now? I haven't checked for a few minutes. Yep, it's still up 6%. How's Kathy doing today? Nothing. How's my ARKW? I am long and strong ARKW, man. Long and strong. I gotta go back to a 2-year chart to get my cost basis. That's a humble brag. But still, sucks to see it fall like that. But anyway, Kathy's not doing much. What about Tesla today? No. Tesla's not playing ball. We saw all those EV plays kind of rocket ship a couple days ago. Just kind of hanging out today here. Lee, Neo, right? Not really doing much.
Speaking about Kathy and Tesla.
Oh my God! Wait, hold on. Wait, real quick. Space is up again, 6% again. God damn. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, I was actually gonna say. Speaking about Kathy Tesla, what do we think of these space stocks? Right, she made ARC-X and Virgin Galactic's up pretty big, but ARC has not really moved much.
What, the ETF hasn't?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Wow. Well, it's because it's weighed down by actually that doesn't make sense because John Deere is up big. So I don't know. What's in it? Let's go to this resource that I use. I'll share my screen here for a second. I'll bring up a site that I use that I pay for, etfdb.com, and let's look at ARKX. See what we've got. Holdings. All right. Yeah, first off, it's got their own 3D printing ETF, which is freaking weird. Which is I don't know how I feel about that. But you got Trimble, which makes sense. L3 Harris makes sense. Iridium makes sense. Lockheed Martin makes sense. Boeing, that all makes sense. You've got Amazon, which is what? You got JD, which is huh? Google, which is all right, maybe I see it. This is just the top 10. We can download the whole thing here, but we're not going to. But then you got John Deere in there, and I don't know. You're right. It hasn't done much. In hindsight, so when did this launch? March 21st. And in hindsight, with March 21st, well, it wasn't the top, but was that peak Kathy? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was just after that. I mean, these really high growth companies, right? Jamia, kind of the one that comes to mind for me. And Neo, Tesla, Palantir, they've all kind of pushed up and kind of consolidated here. So makes sense. But a lot of those names, right? John Deere being a pretty solid blue chip,
Wait, I'm just curious. So you mentioned Jumia just there. So Jumia CEO was on the show last week, right? That was on the 19th. So wait, let's just go back and let's just see how it's done since we. All right, so it's up a little bit. Nothing to write home about. I'm curious if there's an indicator, like if being on our show, is that a buy or a sell indicator? I don't know.
The Benzinga indicator,
maybe
the big one.
Maybe, I don't know. What is the coupon code? Someone's asking in chat. The coupon code for Benzinga Pro, I'll put it up on the screen there. Where is it? 30 days, man. 30 days. 30 DAYS. 30 days is your coupon code for Benzinga Pro. Again, pro.benzinga.com. You can always get a free 2-week trial. Always. Free 2-week trial. pro.benzinga.com. So, there's that. I see Money Mitch in the house. Money Mitch, you want to hop on for a minute? Tell us about what we're going to do on SPACs today. What you're watching. Let's see if you can jump in.
What's going on, guys? Did you guys get your little flex game on? Gonna get your summer beach body ready? I know you might have that pandemic gut. I got the stock for you to watch today, guys. FRX. Get rid of that pandemic gut. Let's get rid of it. I got one of my own. Got to get back to the nice six-pack, looking great, looking like a G.
Listen, I had a pandemic gut like 4 years ago. So
it's time to get rid of it.
I was like way ahead of the game there.
Well, one of the things is, Spencer, I know that you guys have probably been seeing is that the workout game has really changed. And now it's coming a lot to your home. Yeah. And we've seen the run of Peloton. Ooh. The real question is, and we're going to talk about it today, FRX, can Beachbody be that next Peloton? They offer a bike half the cost, and I think you can get just as much out of the bike.
Wait. You know who else just lost a lot of weight? AMC.
Losing that weight, shedding that
shedding LB
short squeeze gut.
Yeah, we are shedding LBs fast here on AMC. Whoa. We just went from 36 down to 28.
Are we going to get a halt down? That's the question.
No, we're not that. This isn't that crazy.
What's that pullback so far? What we got there?
I don't know. Math is hard.
About 7% pullback in the last two candles. Not the worst, not the best. But definitely, guys, yeah, we need to go ahead and look at how this stock's going to perform. I'm super excited to get that interview in. One of the things that I've been looking at is how kind of the personal training game has really changed. And this is why I also talk about Peloton not just being a story about a bike anymore. It's more about the personal training and how that is going to change after the pandemic. Is everyone going to be coming back to the gyms and trying to get the personal training in the gym? Or is it going to be changed? And from now on, you just go ahead and you get that kind of on-demand, live action training from your home. And I think this is really a change that's happened and probably here to stay.
You know what the thing about the fitness, and this was the same argument against Peloton too, and against Nautilus, against all these things, is like the fitness industry is full of fads. And is Peloton a fad? I don't know. Unless you think there's like a structural change and people working out from home, which I guess these types of things are enabling. But
that's my idea. Really, is that did they change the company? At first, everyone was talking Peloton's just a bike, right? But I think now if you go on the Peloton and you see their monthly offerings, I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, Spencer, about they got like meditation now, yoga, a whole bunch of different kind of personal trainers giving you different types of offerings, not just, let me jump on the bike here and ride the bike. So
Right. All right. So you guys are going to be talking to CEO Beachbody at 11:15. You're going to also take questions from the chat. Trying to look forward. Are there any other interviews you got coming up, or nothing on the books just yet for next week?
Well, nothing I want to give away just yet, but we got some great things going into next month. One of the things that we've been waiting for is kind of our bottoming action. We have a lot of connections. We're really working towards getting up to the point where we'll get a real SPAC event, guys, and that's the future.
SPAC event. Wait, what is
a full SPAC event where we'll take it over the YouTube all day long, kick Spencer out. No, I'm just playing. No, Spencer will handle the morning pre-market preps look into SPACs, and I'd love to hear that day. We'll get some interviews on there all day long. We'll be going through SPAC companies, but we're waiting for the big rebound, guys, and I think we're gonna get that. I'm already holding some SPACs and making some money. So I mean,
good for you, man.
I definitely dipped my toes in on Thursday. The big thing that Chris and I have been talking about is that de-SPAC game. And these companies have been around for a little while now and actually have some earnings to go off of. Those are the ones that I think you need to put on your radar. Those are the first ones that are going to move, and then we'll get the other hype stocks to come and start moving. So one of the patterns that Chris and I are looking forward is after merger, do stocks actually start going back up? Because the pattern has always been after merger, stocks go down. Now we're going to see if after the merger, we start getting that opposite pattern to start happening. I think that's a very important thing to keep your eyes on. All right, so today let's look at some sectors, right? What's moving? What's out there for you guys looking at trades still? Healthcare made a big move up today, guys, almost up about 1% from the open. It was about a 0.8 and overall 1% now. So healthcare definitely leading in there. You can take a look here to see what's leading. Medical devices, biotechnology. A reason why you might have saw that surf up. You know, you asked about why surf was up. This could just be more of an industry outlook. Also,
healthcare,
the healthcare moving on up, biotechnology leading there, and perfect example of a stock to look at. Another one that I had mentioned yesterday was Gevo. Gevo is one that I'm going to keep an eye out for, guys. This one's an interesting chart. Has been kind of a smaller chart pulling back here. We'll see if this one kind of continues moving. But I think we're starting to get some pullback in some of these growth stocks today, Spencer. I was actually taking some profit in certain ones just because I'm up like, let's say, close to over 5% on the week since last week on the overall count. And I think this is the time when you're going to start seeing maybe some pullbacks into the weekend, into the long weekend. So stocks that I've already taken some profit in. I took some profit in CRSR. Took this one off just because I felt it was coming back down towards that 31 or 30 look. So I wanted to see this one hold 33. Since it didn't hold 33 today, took the profit. It wasn't the biggest profit, 7% gain there, but hey, I'll take a 7% gain anytime, guys. MaxR is another one I took off the table today, guys. Feeling like I'm seeing space pulling back. It looked great. I thought it was going to maybe try this gap up here to 38, but today pulling back a little bit, also taking some profit in MaxR. Not a bad move. Moving a little bit back to cash to see if we get a pullback here. But hey, there's some other plays that I'm watching also. Penn, of course, the leading in the gambling sector, pulling back today. So I might actually get out of my RSI position. We'll see if it can hold my entry here. I'm closer towards 12.15 with my overall share average. We'll see if this kind of continues. Really wanted to see RSI close above 13 today. Keeps getting up to 13 and rejecting. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let me catch up with the chat. What's going on?
I want to bring up this action in space right now, which is absolutely crazy. This thing is crazy. Okay, so this is a 1 minute chart, 1 minute candles here. This thing just dipped and bounced right off that like $30.79 low. Somewhere around
pre-market support right there.
Right. Yeah. This thing just went from 32 to 30 back to 32 within minutes. There's just wild action here.
SPCE has a tendency of doing these moves of extreme up, extreme down. So almost going from oversold all the way to like kind of overbought to all the way down to oversold and then bouncing back up. One of the things that I've seen is if you look at SPCE on kind of more of a 5-minute time, you'll see those big pullbacks to support. And this is a stock that loves to go up to resistance, back down, all the way down to support. Up to resistance, back down, all the way to support. So it's a trading stock. A lot of day traders are trading this one, trying to grab it off that support and ride it up to the resistance. And then they just go ahead and sell it right there too.
Yeah, and as the chat's noting, I mean, the overall market just pulled back a little bit too. So AMC was moving with that as well. AMC also just crazy action happening here, guys. Just wild stuff. You're seeing this 10:30 reversal. Is that the bottom of the day right there that we just got in all these stocks? I don't know. How's Beyond Meat doing?
Pretty good on AMC. I'll tell you that if it can hold 30 now, it's going to be interesting. It just got back up above 30. So we'll keep an eye on it. GameStop definitely taking a dip there.
Yeah.
Another one that I was looking at to see if it was going to get going today was BlackBerry, and it looks like it did. It got going a little bit there.
Yeah.
Not the worst one, but I'm keeping an eye on that one. That one's been one of those Reddit stocks that I could see start moving. And look at the daily chart. 3 big candles with a lot of volume push into BB. You never know. This one can start really moving here.
There's just wild stuff happening. Wild stuff. All right, Mitch, I do want to let you go because I know you got to prepare for SPAC Stack. Do you have anything else you want to share before you hop off?
Yeah, guys, really quickly, I do want to point out that we did get technology start bouncing back today. Solar is not looking the worst. Health information, really semiconductors really starting to lead the Qs back. I think that's what you got to keep your eyes on, guys. I think the Qs is going for a 350 push. As long as we can continue moving up on the Qs, I'm going to keep continuing to dip on these growth names and looking for these rip up. Now, one of the things I'm noticing is we might not get those 40 to 50% returns that a lot of people are expecting. And I can tell you that I can see it on the charts. You know, a lot of charts are showing that if it went back up to a heavy resistance, it would be a 30 to 40, 50% gain. And so one of the things I'm trying to find out here is if we're going to start having to find a little sweet spot in between there. Not 50, maybe not 10, but somewhere in between there might be a sweet spot. So that's what I'll definitely tell traders out there. And I'm trying to work that sweet spot myself. So.
All right, man, go prepare for SPACs. And
yeah, guys, stick around, guys. We're going to do a little beach body action, get rid of that pandemic gut. You guys already know. Sweat it out. That hot yoga. You got it. Who wants to see that, Spencer, running that hot yoga? You guys already know.
Should we do like a Benzinga like virtual yoga class or something? Or class? I don't know.
You know what? When I come to the office, we're doing it, Spencer. Okay. We're doing it. We're going to do a little morning yoga action. You already know. Drew's coming through.
All right. While you're at it, Mitch, just make sure the redirect is set. So the stream is gonna
already did.
All right. I'm just checking.
Swag. Hit the thumbs up, guys. We'll see you there.
Thumbs up for Mitch. See you, man. Someone asked what's going on with the semis today. Intel. There was a headline. This is from Dell last night, I believe. Right here. Let me bring up my Benzinga Pro. Where am I? Now let's go to this tool. 1 second. All right. So Dell. No, Intel. Dell made a comment about the semiconductor constraints extending into next year. So you see Intel is down on that. Actually, if you look at a lot of semis today are down. NVIDIA is not, weirdly enough. NVIDIA is up. But a lot of semis, it seems like, are down today. If I can scroll here and probably catch a few of them. But yeah, overall industry weakness, maybe not. Maybe I stand corrected. I don't actually see any semis here on this list. Intel down though. I think that was from the Dell headline. And somebody mentioned, who was it in chat? Someone just mentioned Ford and GM. Was that Hertz Scrambler? I can't find it. Anyway, I think it was Hertz Scrambler. It said Ford and GM. Again, smacked. Yeah, it was. Okay, good. Ford got to $15. Unbelievable. This Ford thing is insane. Why am I so stupid, Drew? Why am I so dumb?
Why do you feel so dumb, Spencer?
Because selling is always dumb. I've learned.
Selling is always
Why
dumb.
do I sell? Why do we sell when we just hold and make more money?
Always keep a little. If you sell, it's okay, but just keep a little.
Why didn't I do that? Why did I sell? Why did I decide to be like, oh, okay, I made my money, I'm done? Selling is dumb. Good.
What did you get in at?
730, 40, mid sevens, and I got out mid 12. Or
How long did you hold that though?
It wasn't. It was a few months.
Okay.
It was nothing crazy, but God, makes me so mad. Good. I'm glad to see it down 2.5%. Pissed me off. Yeah, shaving off the top is what I should have done. You're right. I should have sold out my cost basis and played with the house's money. But did I? No. You know why? Because this is I'm not so mad that the stock is kept going higher after I sold. That's not why I'm mad. Just to be clear, I'm mad because I wouldn't have sold if I had done an extra 2 seconds of research and had seen on their investor relations page that they're having their investor day like the next week. If I had and their Ford Plus event where they're going to talk about their electrification and stuff. If I had just seen that on the calendar, I wouldn't have sold. But I didn't look. And it was out there. It was known. I just had no idea, and I sold it. And that's why I'm pissed, because I'm mad at myself for not looking, not taking 2 seconds out of my day to look.
It happens, though. You can't beat yourself up about it. You got to look for that next one, which might be Microvision, ticker symbol MVIS. I saw that thrown in the chat.
Look.
By Clyde W.
Man.
Going up above a nice support level here, pushing up. This stock, just a few cents, in early 2020. And one of my buddies got in at 60 cents. Unfortunately, he sold super early, but would have been a millionaire. No joke. He actually would have.
Oh, you can't play that game, though. We all have trades like that.
A few thousand shares at 60 cents. Made some money, but didn't make a milli. Shout out to Meek Mill. Shout out to Soldier Boy. We DM'd you on Twitter. I don't know who did that, but check your DMs. So, yeah, this thing is going up big here. And, it's above a lot of support. Obviously, the Reddit community pushed this thing to 32. I'm sure a lot of traders have their eye on that level now. It could run, but it also could fall right back, right? We've seen it consolidate since then. And what do you see? Bam. Call, sweep, 37 at the ask. Makes sense.
Shit, I was about to say. I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, I wanted to look at Hibbett Sports. HIBB. Oh, reversal. Reversal in progress. We are down on the day in HIBB. We got to $96. Was that was the pre-market, right? Yeah, that was the pre-market. What did we open at? We opened at what? I hate this chart, this small chart, because I can't really tell what we opened at. But regardless, here, this is a better one over here. We opened at $94.50. We're at $84 right now. Reversal and Hibbett. How about Dick's? A little bit.
On the way down.
A little bit. What about the Gap? Yeah. Ooh. Retail reversal here. Very interesting. How about the reopening trade? Carnival down, UAL down, RCL, they're all down. Everything is down. So what is up today? If the market is up, the S&P is up, the QQQ is up, the Dow Jones is up. Is it just healthcare? Is it just XLV? I'm trying to find what exactly is up today. What stocks of note, of importance? Like AMC is not. Like AMC is fun, but AMC is not a big piece of the indexes, so AMC is not going to move the market.
Yeah, it's looking like healthcare is definitely leading. Semis, also looking pretty solid. Nvidia up 3%, CRM not really semi, but software 6%. Healthcare is looking all green. Industrial is kind of red. Tech is very mixed, right? A lot of these smaller companies, starting to sell off. More money going into more blue chip of the tech.
Like what? Like Apple? How's Apple doing it in the face of that downgrade?
Apple's
to sell?
Flat.
Apple's uneventful.
Adobe 1.5%. Microsoft 0.5%.
Oh,
AMD.
Kevin Costello, CVS is what I've been meaning to look at for a hot second here. Let's zoom out on CVS. What a run it's had. What a run. Look at CVS, man. What a run. It's up 1% today. But here, one second, I'm just helping Mitch out with one thing.
No worries.
I'm done. I was distracted talking to Mitch. And they're going to start the stream up in a few minutes, just FYI. So Drew and I are going to hop off. They're going to start a few minutes early. And I've been on the stream since 8 a.m., so I need some water or something. I'm not like what's his name? Uncle Bruce, is that his name? That guy who just streams on YouTube for like hours on end. That ain't me. I'm not.
No, that is you. You're basically there.
That ain't me. That ain't me. Dude, I haven't even looked at my email today. This is oh god, I'm terrified to do that. All right, let's just hang out for a couple more minutes and then we'll hop off. Patrick Boyer, where is their stream? Their stream, first off, youtube.com/Benzinga, but you won't have to do anything. I'm going to end my stream right as their stream is starting. So this stream is going to redirect straight to that. But if for whatever reason, here, I'll share my screen. If for whatever reason you don't trust the YouTube redirect, that's fine. Let me bring up my screen and I'll show you exactly where to find it. You go to youtube.com/Benzinga. Here's our YouTube page. You can see we're live right now. Scroll down, upcoming live streams. Bada bing. Let me do that. Bada bing, bada boom. Beachbody SPAC takeover. By the way, shout out to Mitch for the creative thumbnail there. Nice job. These are all our streams scheduled that we have for today. And actually, I should mention, guys, next week is going to be a bit of a strange week. So not only are we off on Monday, but we have our next Cannabis Capital Conference. You can see those 4 streams there. Our next Cannabis Capital Conference, Thursday and Friday from 9 a.m., I think, until about 5. So no shows next week after pre-market prep. We've got, for Thursday and Friday, we'll do pre-market prep at normal time. Then we got Cannabis Capital Conference for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Executives from Canopy Growth will be there, IIPR, names that you know, right? Big names in the industry that you know. 2-day event next Thursday and Friday. To learn more, here, I'll put the link up on the screen. Let me make sure I have the right one first. I do. Okay. Learn more. BZCannabis.com. Again, it's a free event for retail investors to watch on YouTube. If you are an institutional or accredited investor, you can get one-on-one time with these executives. Here, let's go to the site for next week. There it is, right? BZCannabis.com. Learn more. You can watch it for free on our YouTube next Thursday and Friday. So that means we basically only have 2 days next week of normal stuff. We've got the holiday on Monday. Obviously, we're not going to be here. I mean, maybe Drew might be, but I won't be here. And then normal stuff Tuesday, Wednesday. No programming after pre-market prep Thursday and Friday. So no SPACs, no Power Hour, no Get Technical, nothing like that. We only do 3 of these a year, guys. 3 cannabis events a year. We had the first one already. This is the second one. They're if you're someone like me that likes the space a lot, the reason I'm invested in the 4 cannabis stocks that I am is because I first heard about them at our own event, right? I own Cresco, Curaleaf, Trueleaf, Green Thumb, and I first learned about them at our conference. So check it out. A lot of fundamental information gets dropped. It's basically just an entire day of panels and investor presentations. So if you're into the space, cannot recommend it enough. BZCannabis.com. Okay. That's all I had to say about that. Anything else you want to add, Drew, before we hop off?
Yeah, I'll just plug it a little bit myself. That's going to be a great event. You guys do not want to miss that. Spencer's definitely hyping up for good reason. So stay tuned. Definitely sign up. Check it out. And reserve your seat.
Yep. All right. Let me make sure that the SPACs guys are live. I don't want to leave before they go live because I want to make sure that there's no dead air.
Definitely. Microvision. I know we might be hopping off here any second, but Microvision coming to an all-day high. Call me Mr. Drew Day Trader.
Mr. Drew Day Trader. All right. I'll call you that.
But yeah, I mean, it's on a little bit of a run up. I think $1 since I called it around 17.50. But this thing is, it's kind of near a high. If it breaks that 18.50, this thing could really run. If you're into the day trading.
Hey, wait, what about Playboy? PLBY. This thing. Wow. This is the one SPAC that can't go down. I don't know why. Maybe it's an NFT thing. I have no idea. But this SPAC can't go down. It can't stay down. You can't keep it down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Tattooed Chef for a SPAC that has really performed well post-merger.
Wait. When was the merger?
It was late 2020, I want to say. Don't know the exact date on that.
Well, performing well, you mean like relative to everybody else because it's down.
Yeah, it didn't really dump. I mean, it
dumped pretty hard. That's not. It got down below 16. That's
well,
it stayed above 10. I guess if that's what you're saying.
I mean,
it's a low bar to clear.
That is a low bar to clear, but some haven't been able to do it, some have, and I think all this is post merger. So it did hold. It pulled back, and now it's kind of starting to make another run. So I know some people in the chat were calling that out. So that looks pretty solid as well.
One last thing before we hop on AMC, whether this is a short squeeze or not, if it is a short squeeze, who the hell is short AMC? Like, obviously, we'll get new data, I think, in the next few days, updated short interest data from FINRA. But, like, who in God's name is short the stock? Why would anybody short AMC? You are liable to get your face ripped off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of day traders, I think, that do come in short early on. That's when you like, kind of see from pre-market, it really moves up, and then there's a parabolic move, and then, kind of reverses and does all this crazy stuff. So I think it could be due to a lot of day traders. And look at GME, right? When that thing went up, they added cash to their accounts, and then they shorted it even harder, right? These guys in Wall Street, who's the real degenerates? No, just kidding. But, it's a crazy move, right? People, they put their money where their mouth is, and they make some wild moves.
Yeah, and we should also know that AMC just diluted the hell out of their shareholders in the last year, and just has a ton of debt. Anyway, whatever. I can't talk about this anymore. No, that was not a pun. I realized it after the fact, guys. A pun not intended on the Playboy thing. All right, Dr. Drew Levine, aka Dyslexic Drew. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If not for you, I would have been just by myself with our beautiful viewers here for the last hour or so. So I appreciate your time, man, and we'll hop off and we'll talk in real life and in person. But good to see you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me out. Take care, guys.
All right. Guys, it's going to be a wrap for me. I've been on the stream since 8 a.m. this morning, so I'm tired. I'm going to hop. The SPAC stream has started. I'm going to end. It'll redirect straight to SPAC's Attack. But again, youtube.com/Benzinga to find that stream. How many likes are we at? We at 500 likes? We're not. We're at 498. Come on. Guys, I'm not. I will sit here in silence if I have to until we get to 500 likes. I'm just going to, okay, we're there. Thank you. I didn't actually want to do that. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for hanging out. I appreciate it. Again, please remember all the information from our show, all of our shows actually, are meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Please hit that like button, hit subscribe, click on the link in the description to enter the contest on how to win a free share of Tesla. SPAC's Attack stream up right now. Everyone have a good rest of your day, and I will see you down the road.